наблюдали это с расстояния 70 километров. Какое-то количество людей находилось ближе. Одного солдата, находившегося в канаве, засыпало песком, и один солдат погиб. В одном из близлежащих сел население было все выведено из зданий.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Feel Better About Yourself show, starring myself, Patrick Quinlan, and tonight we're going to have Carbon Heart, and I've gotten some strange emails recently about some things, and we're going to talk about them. How are we all doing tonight? We got 3 viewers here. I'm so dumb and with YouTube that I just realized how I can check how many viewers I have. 3. We've got 3. Name yourselves. Who are you? Who's watching? How you guys doing tonight? Anyway, we're going to have a great show tonight here. I've got Carbon Heart coming on in second here. Let me see here. And, yes, okay. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Carbon Heart, give a big hand. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Patrick? How you doing?
Pretty good. How's your week been?
Can't complain. You know, it went by pretty quickly, at least.
Yeah.
Pretty good overall, though.
Very nice. Anything new? Anything exciting?
Well, mainly just excited for spring. You know, I know that's not really too unique of a thing, but yeah, starting to go out more.
Very good.
Now that it's getting nice, and C2E2 was a big event this week, and that was on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go, but honestly, the cancellation kind of killed the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was originally on the fence, but then once the cancellation happened and a lot of people pulled out, I was like, I guess it's not really worth the trip at this point. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well, you were smarter than me. I actually bought the tickets and everything. I was ready to go, and when they canceled them, I went and got a what do they call that? A chargeback. Because I wasn't going to pay those people for something that I mean, I literally paid them to go see those 3, and then they yanked them. So, but actually, that's a great segue there. I want to show you guys something here from John Malin's stream. This is the C2E2 stream that he had when he went in. So essentially, long story short, for those who don't know, Shane Davis, the owner and the artist of 9 Lives Comics, and John Malin, who does his comic book company have a name? I think it's just John Malin. Anyway, they decided that they were going to essentially have a booth as exhibitors at C2E2. I don't know if booth is the correct word, but you know what I'm saying. And they paid $15,000. They got the whole thing all set up and everything. And essentially, when they started talking about it on social media, I guess the Marxist scum, for lack of a better word, found out that they were going to try to be there, and so they got them canceled and removed from the convention. Undeterred by this, John Malin decided to buy some tickets to C2E2 so that he could go there himself, regardless of just to be there for the fans who were going to come anyway and who had already bought tickets and had no way of refunding them. And C2E2 told John that if he tried to come, well, first of all, they refunded his tickets, and then secondly, they told him that if you try to come here, we're going to remove you from the convention. And yet still, undeterred by this, John Malin decided, you know what, fuck that. And so he got tickets from a third party, I suppose. Somebody maybe bought them for him, and he paid him for that. And so he showed up at C2E2 and essentially attempted to see if they would remove him. But oh no. You see, folks, I've been telling you about this. I'm getting these weird emails, you see. These people, they're after me. They're onto my conspiracy theories, and they're after me. And oh no, they're invading the stream. Blackhawk Logistics. No.
Akbar. Yeah, the Zionist dogs must pay.
Blackhawk.
No. Oh my God.
We were initially upset with the Van Skyvers and the Mullins, but then we see on the live stream with the trash cast, we see Ethan Van Skyver laughing at Israel Dog, who went to destroy our Palestinian freedom flag. We go doop. And we got booby trap for dogs. Blow off his head. He's gone in Minecraft.
You killed Ethan Van Sciver? Oh my God.
No, Ethan Van Sciver, he laughed. He laughed with us at this video he showed on his trash cast streams.
Oh, you're laughing at the Israelis. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we also want to support the wolf, the dog. Even though he admires dogs, we will let that slide because
I don't think he's a big fan of your guys' religion. I don't know if you knew this.
Well, maybe. Nonetheless,
who knows? Maybe John Malin will start worshiping Allah. You know, we can only hope, I guess.
Yeah, we're all in the fight. You know.
That's right. So, Mr. Blackhawk Logistics, I assume you don't want to give your name because, you know, then you'll be
third-party contractor.
Right. I got a couple questions for you, Mr. Blackhawk. Do you have you guys helped out at all in the Ukraine war? You guys been providing any mercenary aid to the Ukrainians?
No, just I can't reveal contracts, details. Just
right.
I can provide consultation benefits here. You know, his first time is free. You know, the first time is free, and then we send you a bill for second time, and then you pay with blood. But
hey, that's kind of competitive. I got to be honest. Amongst mercenary groups, that's kind of competitive.
You come back. It's how we work.
Well, I hope that you know something about Comicsgate, Mr. Blackhawk Logistics, because we're talking about Comicsgate today. At least at the moment, we're talking about C2E2. You know anything about that?
Yes. Another hive of infidels, Zionist dogs. They support Disney and Black Rock. We are not Black Rock. We are Blackhawk.
Different, right?
Yes.
Black Cock. That's what you are, right?
Yes. So, very, very much we keep abreast of these comic book trade shows. Like to see what the comic books, promote the Islams and promote freedom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I heard if you guys have never heard of Frank Miller, I heard he's a big fan, and so anyway, let's take a look at this here. I kind of want to skip because there's the whole thing is kind of John's walking through the campaign here. Nobody's given him any trouble, and then at a certain point, let's get to where does this happen?
Actually, it looks pretty empty.
This becomes really creepy. Okay, yeah, watch this, guys. So he's walking along, minding his own business, and then look at all these guys.
Look, I got the whole crew here.
The whole crew.
Zionist dogs. Yes.
Did Christina send you?
Oh my God, that guy's like almost kissing him there. Wow, he got real close to him.
Yes, I believe on another stream. I believe on another stream, Mr. Malin said that the man pinched him on his booty. I believe what he said. He said that he pinched him.
Wow, just like a guy and his dog to pinch somebody on their booty, right?
That is what they do. Unclean, and
yeah, very much so.
It's very hot here. It's a desert.
Well, let's keep going here.
Okay.
So yeah, they're escorting him out. They're escorting him out. This man who's done nothing but walk around filming himself, which many people do all the time. And they take him over to the exit here.
Is that crazy?
Oh, let's back up. So this is what happens. He's sitting here next to this exit here, which I think they said that if they opened that door, the alarm would go off for the whole convention. So they didn't want to open that door.
That's the door to open.
It's a bad door. So so John's sitting here kind of waiting for the next move here. They're thinking maybe we're going to take him to the front exit, make him leave that way.
Take him into alley and rape him with dogs.
That was an option.
Yes. Many people in the chat wanted this. Yes.
I heard that. Well, he said it himself when he was on the stream here. He's like, "So what are you guys gonna do when you take me out there? You gonna beat me up?"
Yes. That was our friend Mark Brooks. He want to rape him with dogs.
Yes. Well, yes. Mark Brooks is always calling for people to be raped by dogs. That's his shtick. You've seen it multiple times across his social media platforms. And
So John takes this opportunity while he's kind of standing here with these guys to essentially just ask them, do you know why you've been asked to escort me out? Do you know why you've been told to make me leave this convention?
Right. But I didn't violate any code of conduct. I'm a conservative. Yeah. So my conservative beliefs is why I violated. So I'm a Trump supporter. Yeah. So
the greatest sin of all time, ladies and gentlemen, supporting Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of these United States of America. It's a terrible thing. John, he can't support Trump and get away with it. We got to take him out. We got to remove him from here.
Very strong man.
Yeah. Carbon Heart, what do you think about these guys coming up on John like this?
I mean, it's classic. I mean, look, they operated like security guards and bouncers have to. I'm no stranger to bouncers in my years at the bar, so it was very familiar seeing the way they handled it. I can't blame them.
You saying your years at the bar being an employee of the bar or just like drinking at the bar?
being a patron of the bar.
Ah, yeah, okay, nice.
And being carried out by bouncers. But yeah, so I can't blame them necessarily, but honestly, I was shocked that this even happened because I was thinking, like, who cares? Like, John would be there walking around and, like, chances are nothing would happen. Like, why would they search for him? But apparently these C2E2 owners or the VP, they must have given his photo because they said that they were told to look for him. So they had to have had a photo of his face in order to find him. So it's like they really, these Reed owners really got a hard on for Comicsgate now. Like they deliberately want Comicsgate out, and I think it's a bigger story than people even want to admit.
Oh yeah,
they operate multiple Comic-Cons, including New York Comic-Con, which is one of the biggest conventions in the country, and as a matter of fact, John revealed recently that he and Shane were considering New York Comic-Con this year.
When is New York Comic-Con? Do you know?
It's October. It's in mid-October. But the thing is, now that this happened, being that Reed runs it, that's out of the picture. So I'm disappointed about that.
Well, maybe it could end up the same way this one did. I mean, certainly they probably won't get a booth.
There'd have to be some sort of contractual agreement that they couldn't pull the rug out from them.
Right.
One of the things he points out too, that John asked him is, how many times you're doing this a lot? You're taking people, throwing them out of the convention. You're doing this a lot at these comic book trade shows. And they said, no, not so much. Yeah. So that is the thing too, is that the exception to attendees coming into here is Comicsgate, is John Malin, is Shane Davis, Mange Davis.
Yes.
They make the exception to single out the people that they don't like. Zionist dogs, afraid. They smell the wolf. They smell the wolf and they feel threatened because the dogs get little, like chihuahuas, like sickly chihuahuas, but from Zion.
From Zion.
Blackhawk. Let me ask you: Do you think if John Malin had said Allahu Akbar on stream, they would have let him stay? They would have left him alone?
Well, no. They are the capitalists. The capitalists, they are very much against my God, and they would most likely then bring out the tasers and extra rape. Oh
no, Blackhawk, are you saying that your God is a socialist?
A little.
Oh.
Everyone gets rape equally. It's okay. Everyone gets goat. Everyone gets rape. It's okay.
You know, guys, this is, I may be like slightly wrong on this, but there's approximately 8 deaths of animals in India this year from rape. You think I'm joking? I mean, maybe it's not true, maybe, but I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes, and if I saw it on the internet,
8? Only 8?
Yeah. Right?
Who were the animals raping?
No, Blackhawk, I don't think it was quite like that, unfortunately. That would be a little better.
It was the tiger. The tiger raped me is what happened. Yes.
Right.
You know that Spain legalized animal copulation
You're kidding. Is that real?
within the last couple of years. Yeah, that actually happened.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what's going on over there.
Spain? Oh my gosh. We're going back.
Wow.
Blackhawk's
Yeah.
not familiar with that.
Yeah, we're going back to
Blackhawk's no
Spain.
stranger to
Only goats. Only goats.
Only guys. Right. That's the only clean animal. Right. Oh my God. That's kind of wild that Spain. I mean, it is and it isn't. Europe is like a cesspool of degeneracy, but
Yes.
wow. That they would stoop to bestiality. Well, maybe they should invite Katie on down. I'm just joking. I'm kidding. That was a joke. God.
And apparently tourism went up. Ever since that happened.
A lot of tourists from America coming over for some strange reason.
It's nice to yes.
Yeah, right. Well, let's keep going with this here. We can talk a little bit more.
I just, so you guys know what's going on. I'm not a criminal, right? Okay. So.
Well, I mean, we don't know if he's killed somebody in the past.
Nothing is proven.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
He's being real respectful too, not pointing the camera at them.
Yeah, we got a booth here.
I think that may be a contributing factor to why they are a little nicer towards him. Because if it was me and you were pointing a camera at me the whole time, I wouldn't feel inclined to like listen to you or help you. So it's good that he didn't do that.
Then they decided that we violated their code of conduct 5 days or 5 weeks before the show launch, 5 weeks before today. So they said, I don't know, social media. Yeah, they stalked my social media. Isn't that crazy? I don't think it is, man. I don't think that's the way. I don't think that's the way it's worked. Being a Trump supporter shouldn't be a reason not to set up at a comic book convention, especially when I'm a comic book artist.
What did the security guy say? Could you make that out?
So he said they stalked my social media, and the guy goes, and I think this is the same guy that says the most disgusting sentence in the English language later, but he says, that's the way it works. And John's like, I don't think that's the way it works. Like,
yeah, if that's the way it works, then we're fixing it.
Oh yeah. That's not the way it's ever supposed to have worked. I mean, this is exactly. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? I'm an industry professional. I'm not just some rando. You know what I mean? So that's what they did. It's called cancel culture. We had a comic book artist who just got canceled 5 weeks ago. He killed himself. It's not going to affect my standing with Marvel. Yeah, because I've already been canceled. See what I'm saying? No, by the people. By people like this. By people like this. Yeah, by people like this. Yeah.
Zionist dogs.
Same reason I can't stop here. So, see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, God bless John Malin. Look at that. Look at that grin too.
Boyish charm.
Oh man. This is really great. I love this so much. Anyway, let's continue.
So, all right, if this door's not going to open, I'm going to exit. No, we're hang on, stand by 1 minute.
So this is the weird part. They say stand by 1 minute. I assume the door that they look at, it looks like it would set off an alarm if they go through like the fire alarm. But they brought him to that door on purpose. So I'm wondering like why they brought him to that door and then why there's this whole wait time to get him out of there. Now, it's great that there is the wait time because he has the opportunity to talk to them and to try to convince them of what's going on. So that's, I can't complain about it, but it was a little weird. Like why I wonder why. Maybe they were like getting confirmation first from the convention runners to see like, are we really going to kick this guy out? Do you, like, we've got him. Do you want us to actually do it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Carbon.
Well, there's only two possibilities. You know, at first it does seem shady. I know what you mean, because it's like, you know, wait here for a while for what? I mean, you know, a lot of people assumed that maybe cops were called, you know, someone was called to come get him. That's possible, but at the same time, once you start to think about it, what you know, the cops wouldn't do anything. There's nothing. There would be nothing for the cops to do with John at this point. I'm thinking that they might have thought that protocol was to take him to the emergency exits because it's not the main entrance, you know, to avoid the main entrance. And then they realized, oh, we can't open these doors because of the alarm. And then they goofed, and they were trying to see if they can get the alarms turned off. Chances are they couldn't get the alarms turned off. I doubt they could do that quickly. And that might have actually been part of the reason why they said, screw it, you know, at this point, because we're going to have to take you to the other exit. And they were like, screw it, whatever. And we'll let them back in.
Yeah, that would have been a big PR fiasco, you know, because everybody would have seen them escorting this guy out. So, Blackhawk, what do you think?
Assemble the rape team. They're trying to assemble the rape team in alley. They could not get it, so they had to kill. They could not take him out back door. You know, it's Chicago. Chicago is known as a violent city. Every weekend is like 24 murders with guns. You know, this is Chicago. They're talking. It's not. You know what I'm saying? This isn't fucking Springfield. This is
yeah.
I believe it. I heard another YouTuber refer to it as the Palestine of America, Chicago.
Oh,
so
my.
That is my thought. Is
Wow.
They're trying to take him out there, as the chat was suggesting, and do bad things to him. Already, the security guards had already assaulted him, made threats, essentially kidnapped him from his journey through the convention, kidnapped him against his will. Hey, come over here. If you don't, we're going to start, you know. Always best. Just go in with it.
Blackhawk, do you think that they thought... Do you think they were confused about his alter ego of being the Wolf King, and so they thought that he was an actual wolf, and that's kind of what led them to the rape squad?
It's possible. It's possible. Smaller dogs like these designers dogs at C2E2. Smaller dogs are jealous of the large dog. You see the little ones, they see the big one, and they think they can take it on themselves. But instead, as you see, they cower. They cower before the Wolf King, and you know, grovel, show ass, show belly, roll over. Don't hurt us, Wolf King. That is what I suspect.
They had the canine unit outside also for the canine rape squad.
Covered all the bases. Very nice. Well, I'm going to take a quick break from this here for a second. And I'm gonna, I don't know if you guys, the audience who may or may not be watching right now, but I just on Saturday, a week from yesterday, a week away from today, I released my comic book Phenomenon, and it's up on Fund My Comic to be funded, and I just want to go over that real quick for folks. So yeah, Phenomenon Comic Magazine. I've been working on this for 3 years. I put my heart, soul, and other things that you may not want to know about into this comic book. And I really hope you guys consider backing it. I want to show the trailer here real quick. So yeah, as the trailer said, the year is 1999. The Soviet Union has finally begun to rebuild from the devastating atomic war, a war that visited untold destruction upon Russia and the United States. A brilliant Soviet scientist has discovered the secret to creating superhumans, but the terrorist organization Lantern intends to steal the serum and use it for their own ends. So here I've got a few pages here. This is here the Lantern terrorists infiltrating the D6 facility. The scourge of nuclear fallout has subsided, and the city of Moscow thrives again. The heavily guarded military quarter contains numerous highly advanced research and development facilities, such as D6, also known as the Big Six. This is where our story begins, as the Lantern terrorists attempt to infiltrate by any means necessary. So here we have a few pages here of the Lanterns coming in and kicking ass and taking names and serums. And so here we've got the boss, the leader of the Lanterns, essentially his second in command, Grin here. I love this design, Grin. I spent maybe a little bit less time than on the boss for the design for Grin, but a little bit less time. But so anyway, despite their efforts, the Lanterns fail to stop the experiment, and the first superhumans are born. And lo, we have here the Blue Rose, the second of the two first superhumans created by the Soviet state. So I'm going to read this here part here. The Phenomenon is a graphic novel told in chapters, released in single issues. I love stories that resolve within one mag, but in order to tell the tale I really wanted, I realized it would have to be told over several issues. However, I've learned many lessons from that classic style of comic book storytelling, and I've strived to utilize those tips, tricks, and rules as much as possible. My goal is to deliver the best, most thrilling reading experience possible across this long form arc. So, for anybody who's wondering, to be clear, this is not a one and done comic book. Like, it's not going to be, the story's not going to be resolved within one issue. It's going to be resolved over the course of several issues. I have a number in my head, but it's not completely concrete because I've come to realize that issues decrease and increase in size once you give it to an artist. So, speaking of artists, excuse me. This is our cover A by the interior artist Tomas Kavash. It's a wonderful cover featuring the boss of the Lantern Terrorist Squad and the first of the Soviet superhumans, known as Minotaur, a battle-hardened Spetsnaz agent who has spent years fighting wars in China at the behest of the Soviet Union. China, you may ask. What has China got to do with this? Not a lot, except that the Soviet Union spent about 10 years fighting them in this alternate universe. Next, we have cover B by the amazing, the stupendous Rob Hunter. Comicsgate king and legend in his own right, Rob Hunter here made this beautiful piece of the Lanterns infiltrating the D6 facility here. So here we've got the boss right here. We've got Grin, Ember, and Baron, who is also one of the main characters of the story. Baron, he's a very fun character. He's essentially a mercenary who's been hired by the Lanterns to kind of round out their squad. So he's not necessarily fully invested in their attempts to overthrow the Soviet state, but he's kind of mostly there for the money. I'm also offering a few t-shirts here. This is Minotaur. This one, yeah, dude, it's so sexy.
Is anybody gonna do colors on that?
No, actually. It was always, since day one, I've always had in my mind that there was going to be a cover that was black and white, and Rob Hunter is the perfect guy to just leave black and white if you're going to do that. Maybe one day, just out of curiosity, I might have it covered just colored to see what it looks like. But honestly, I prefer it black and white, at least for right now. Thank you. And it's really cool because I've said this before, but as you hold it out in front of you, or if you step back away from it, it almost looks like a real photograph. And then you get closer and you're like, oh no, that's somebody drew that. Super cool. We're also offering T-shirts, 2 T-shirts, a red one and a black one. The red one is it's a picture of Minotaur on the front there, with obviously all that Soviet regalia behind him. And all of the messages on these shirts are written in Russian. So the message for this one is the victory of communism is inevitable. And it says Победа коммунизма неизбежна. So that's on the back of the shirt there. Next, we have the boss shirt, the lantern shirt. This is, good old fashioned, the leader of the lanterns. And it says, thus always to tyrants, which is a classic Revolutionary War line from the United States when we revolted against Great Britain. And it says in Russian, Takim образом всегда для тиранов. And actually, that's the shirt I'm wearing right now. So let me show you guys this real quick. So this is the front of the shirt here. That's how big the picture is. And then we've got the back.
Russian.
The writing's on the back there.
Nice.
Yes, I love speaking Russian. And I mean, I can speak it like almost fluently. But I mean, my problem is vocabulary. So sometimes people will say words to me that I don't know. But anyway, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at $804 within 1 week for this comic book. Amazing. Spectacular.
Excellent.
So if you guys want to back this, please do so. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we've got both covers, A and B, and then 2 T-shirts here. So yeah, back that if you can. Anyway.
Was there a Peter Gilmore cover
The
as
show.
well? What did I see about Peter Gilmore?
Well, I'll show you guys the picture here. I'm not so okay. I'm always really cagey about my comic book. I don't tell everybody the things that are planned. It's not fan art. It's a commission. Listen here, Blackhawk. It's not fan art. It was a commission. But so I actually have another cover that I'll be probably releasing. It's got to be colored first, this other cover, and it's actually by another Comicsgate King, and I'll be releasing that, I think, within like probably a month and a half from now. So if it's about 45 days from now, probably somewhere halfway through the campaign, I'll have that one released. But that's all I'm going to say about that one, because it's supposed to be a surprise. But let me find. Hold on. Let me go to Twitter here. I'm going to find. Go ahead.
I thought that's why I thought I had seen him post something about it. I monitor all the social medias, and I specifically the Comicsgate people in England. I monitor them for their support or denial for different causes. And Peter Gilmore supporting the phenomena is definitely something we monitor. So that is what I remember seeing it. They might have been looking in his direct messages. That might have been. I might have blown my own. I've said too much.
What do you say? Are you saying that you've been messaging Peter Gilmore?
No. I thought he posted that on Twitter. I might be crazy. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
No, I was playing along there. He did post it to Twitter. I mean, I posted it to Twitter because he gave it to me, and I was like, "Can I post this?" And he was like, "Yeah." This, ladies and gentlemen, is the cover. Or I don't know if it's going to be a cover yet. We'll see what it's going to be. First of all, it's beautiful. Okay, that's the most important thing that matters. It's sexy as fuck, and so is Blue Rose there. Which is funny too. Some people are going to judge me for this, but she had her zipper a little bit lower down originally. And I was like, Peter, my mom's going to see this and she's going to be all upset with me. So he zipped it up a little bit. The things I do for my parents. Anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece by Peter Gilmore, the CG king of... I know. Everybody else is going to be like, come on, Patrick.
In my land, women are not allowed to speak. This is one of the depravities of America. Women speaking all the time is disgusting.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm on the same page with Blackhawk about.
See, we can find many things in common. The degeneracy of America must go. Women speaking, not covering the flesh.
You probably haven't seen this much cleavage since ever.
Yes, I cannot look at that, yes, but it is beautiful.
Right? Beautiful, beautiful piece. Blue Rose, like I said, is one of the first Soviet superhumans, and then this is obviously the boss. And Blue Rose is actually, she's not completely Russian. She is half Russian, half Venezuelan, which is also a commie country. But anyway, there's that.
What sort of
Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do with it quite yet.
what sort of differences do you think there'll
Go ahead.
be? Like, there's an atomic war in the 1990s between Russia and America. What sort of differences do you think that would? Because like internet and all that stuff didn't start getting like popping off until like late 90s, early 2000s. So like, is that gonna set back things?
Actually,
no, you know,
technically the atomic war happened in 1972.
Oh.
So we're like 27 years past the atomic war in this book. So a lot of the radiation has kind of subsided at this point, at least the areas that were actually nuked. And yes, you're right, though. That does have an actual, real, tangible effect upon the technology. So, for instance, as a writer and having read many comics in my life, I look at cell phones as like the death of writing. Like it kills your story. Cell phones are the worst thing in stories. They have to be removed. So that was actually one of the things that I like purposefully did. That's why I purposely said it the way it is, because I did not want the ability for people to communicate with cell phones. And so cell phones are just, they don't exist in this universe, at least not yet. But there's a lot of technology. So the Soviet Union essentially is somewhere in between where they would be technologically speaking if they were still the Soviet Union today and their old 70s technology. So you'll see a lot of old 70s Russian technology or weapons that have been slightly modified to make them a little more modern. But yeah, it does have a severe effect upon the level of technology in the Soviet Union. So that's a good question. Thanks, Blackhawk.
I do what I can. You
know.
This is what as a third party contractor, these are the things I can bring for you. You know, relevant questions, enthusiasm, Minecraft vests. You know, all these things.
Exactly. Well, thank you. So let's get back to the old John Malin at C2E2.
Make sure we're not sounding off any alarms. Well, why don't we just go through the front? We can. Not yet, though. Am I getting jumped out there or something? Like, what is the situation here? Making sure the right door's open. All right.
Am I getting jumped out there? So there's a little bit of time here where he's just kind of talking to them. Let's see. Is he talking to them during this part?
I can. These are all the guys that support me. So I literally got to keep them connected. So
yeah, that's important to note, that there are a bunch of people following him around, and he showed them before. He like lifted the camera up and showed them behind him. Bunch of people who had met up with him to follow him around. And I guess those security guys wanted them to disperse, but he was like, no, they're here literally to hang out with me.
Yes, you're the threat here is the security, the dogs.
Yeah, so what happened here also is that John was responding to that one security guard who asked him to turn off the phone again. And so, you know, John explained on the stream this morning that the guy has some kind of bullshit line like, oh, well, if you turn off the phone, I could explain further. And it's like, that's obviously sus. It's like, what the fuck are you going to explain to me?
Yeah.
That I need to turn the phone off. You know what I mean? Yeah, Blackhawk knows.
He just didn't want to be recorded saying what he was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, everyone is saying that him having the camera on made all the difference. And I agree with that. Because then, you know, people are on their best behavior when they're on camera, basically. You know, without that, it's like, it could have been a lot worse.
Exactly.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Well, he probably just would have been instantly kicked out, and then, no one would believe any of that because there's no proof of it. But here we have the proof.
When they started at the beginning too, and they're like,
Because they know what happened, so they knew.
They did the same thing. Like he kind of like caught him on the camera, and they're like, "Oh, well, give me your." And he's like, "Don't touch my camera. Like, don't touch me." It would be kind of my.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they realize, oh shit, like there's a whole bunch of people watching me on video. Oh, I can't just start doing the old in and out. That's not going to happen right now. Like.
Yep.
So.
Well, that one guy was trying to act real hard. He was like, "Keep walking." It's like, all right, bro.
I would love to know. I'm sorry, Patrick. I would love to know.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
John said that the one guy who was more aggressive whispered something in his ear at one point, and that's what made John respond. Oh, if you're gonna threaten me, like I don't know, like I'm just walking here. I'm gonna leave. And but John, he couldn't make out what he whispered. But then my imagination's running wild with that. It's like, what would he whisper in his ear? Like, it's like,
I'm gonna put a dress on you and I'm gonna hurt you.
You've been raped in an alleyway in Chicago before.
These guys they're so sometimes they're very trigger happy, and he must have been like saying something like, just give me one good reason, I'll take you down. I will take you down. Some shit like that.
I'm gonna take you to Pound Town, and not in the fun way either.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I wonder what this shot is. This just an upshot of John's beard? Is this what this is here?
Yeah.
No,
so I mean, this is what
this
you can expect. What you can expect at a Reed Pop show is to be threatened and physically. Potentially, I mean, if that's like if the guard is a homosexual, that would be a sexual assault if he's coming up and pinching him. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's what you can expect at Reed Pop conventions, C2E2, New York Comic Con. You can expect to be assaulted and threatened if you, if you support Palestine. Zionist dogs, they threaten our people every day. You see the videos on the campuses, these Zionist dogs at C2E2. Harming my people, my beautiful protesters, peaceful protesters. John peacefully protesting.
Yeah. Well, we all know John is a huge supporter, right? Huge supporter of, Palestine.
Anti-degeneracy.
Is John Malin.
That is where our paths crosses. He is against degeneracy. We are against degeneracy. There are other differences we can set aside. There are great
sure
must be stopped.
Yeah. Oh, let's continue the video here. I don't want to get jihaded, dude. Actually, it'd be really funny. I would think if I died because of this stream, that'd be so funny. I would legitimately want somebody to do another stream about how funny it was that I got jihaded because of this stream. Anyway. Look, folks, I want to die in a cool way. Okay, I'm gonna play it in a second, but I just want to explain. I want to die in a cool way. I don't want to die like I have a heart attack or in my sleep. I want to die in an explosion. I want to die from somebody murdering me, as long as it was a good fight and I put up a good fight and put some gave him some licks and stuff. Not in the sexual way, but and that's how I want to die, in a cool, fun way. And being jihaded by a suicide bomber it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to die.
Okay.
Blaze of glory.
What?
But my booth is removed. We paid thousands of dollars for it. We're comic book professionals. Yeah, they refunded it. Yep. Yeah.
A little bit of a wait here.
I think he even talks about being against the degeneracy. That is what he brings up. That they have made everything political.
He does at a certain point. Mm-hmm.
So that is what these
Everyone's
protesters
worried
on
that I'm going to
campus.
walk that door and it's going down somehow. Yeah. I want to thank everyone for their concern.
I really wish I could have been in the chat during this because it seems like it was a lot of fun, the chat on this one. Skip forward a bit.
It was weird because like I somehow missed this whole part with him interacting with these guys. I saw like the article that was on Fandom Pulse about it and read that, and like we were talking about that. I shared it around a couple, and then we did a stream yesterday, and like I had missed this entire part until after our stream. Like we talked about, like, in the article and stuff. Well, I'll let it keep going until we get to the end of the resolution of what happens next. But
okay.
Yeah, it's like it Carbon Heart was saying it's going to be. This is kind of a big deal. Like, and if this is the thing is like if we don't cover this, we don't push this. Who else is going to? Is Bleeding Cool? Is Rich Johnson, Comics Beat, the Comics Journal, the CBR, any of these news mainstream Zionist dog, news sites? Are they going to cover this? No.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think that John, when he made that post on Twitter about how everyone's a hypocrite for not covering this, all the culture war YouTubers,
oh yeah,
Nerdrotic,
yep,
Geeks and Gamers, the whole list of people who cover this stuff, nobody said anything. I think John was completely on point for calling that out, because
exactly,
had this been anyone in their group, like put any one of those guys in John's shoes right now, they would have been putting up 5 videos a day about this. And they would, right? All of them.
Exactly.
Or what happened with when they had Zack Snyder on there? Zack Snyder's like, oh, I hear these Geeks and Gamers, they're a hate group. And they're like, oh, yeah, they are. Sorry, never mind. We're not with those guys. And it's like, that's what? So that's the other thing you could expect from that sort of person who's just a grifter or just a tourist that comes in, is that there would just be, oh yeah, we were sorry, we didn't understand. There's a couple little hangers on that do that. I don't want to say their names because I don't want to say one said this and they didn't. It was the other one, but there's a couple.
Say their names, Blackhawk. Nobody knows who you are. You're wearing a mask. Say their names. I'm all about the drama. I'm all about chaos. You understand? You got to burn part of the forest down to let the growth. You know what I'm saying?
But you
got the whole Nation of Islam behind you.
I don't get Vickyverse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes me wonder if they're if they're almost doing a bit, like they're doing a satire of you know what I'm saying? But it's I can't even tell because they're not popular or anything. So I think that's just honestly their opinions. But they were saying how, oh, they violated the terms of service. You can't have 3 people at a booth. They knew that, and it's all this was already discussed. And they're that's not even what happened.
Vicky's just contrarian.
Right.
She doesn't even have for a lot of people, you can tell their through line of with their ideology and what they do and why they do it. For me, if anybody wants to know why I do what I do, it's very clear. Marxists infiltrated everything, and I fucking hate Marxism. And they destroyed everything, and they made it really shitty too. It's not just that they inserted their propaganda into comic books; it's that the comic books suck. So that's why I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here doing what I'm doing, is because fuck Marxists. So I don't understand Vicky's. I have no idea what her and I've asked her this before. What is your why? What do you do? Why do you do what you do? It just doesn't make any sense. It would make sense if she was an SJW. And was just oh, I fucking hate these guys because they're Comicsgate. That would make a little bit more sense. At least I would know that you're being, internally consistent. But I literally don't. She it's almost like she's just being contrarian so that she can get the views, so that she can make money. But is she making money on this? I don't know.
No, she just whines. That's what she does. She just whines and complains about everything to the point once you actually read what she has to say, you realize that there's no logic behind it, which is typical with women, pretty much. So
Yes.
the only answer is to ignore her. just completely ignore her. The only answer.
But the other thing you could
Oh wait,
consider-
Carbon Heart. I think you just committed a cardinal sin, Carbon Heart. You just implied that women are like a separate type of sex from men. You just implied that there's men and women and that they're different. Did you? Oh my God. Oh
Yeah, well,
the horror.
You could decide to become a woman, and then when you do that, all you have to do is bitch and complain. So you could decide, if you want to be a woman, just start bitching and complaining, and then you're a woman. So it's fine.
Well, see,
Yeah,
one
people
thing to
instantly
consider
start calling
too
you a pussy.
is Patrick, you're also engaged in boxing, right? Not to get onto your personal life, but you're
Kickboxing. Look, let's be
kickboxing.
clear. I like to kick people. I like kicking people a lot.
Okay, so when you go, you're not going for a match, but you're going to train. You know, you have your sparring partner, and they're punching and kicking and stuff. You're not going to stop and be like, wait, what are you doing? Stop! Why are you kicking me? You know, like, hey. So part of it, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to think that Vicky and this Mindy and all these other ones that are contrarian are without purpose. Because the one thing you could look at is like, well, if you can't handle an argument from Mindy Wheeler or the Vickyverse or one of the Eric that Sturgis or whoever, you know what I'm saying? If you can't handle arguments from these people, how are you even going to be able to break over into like regular normies and mainstream people if you're trying to promote your comics and you're getting tangled up with like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why they're there. Is they're kind of like a little.
Well, does Vicky even have comics?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm a little ignorant on this, but does she make anything at all? Like,
no.
I think it's just maybe
that's the thing that bothered me too about the G&G and the FNT guys was that they would bitch and moan and complain, and so would Eric July. And then Eric July was like, "Well, I'm going to actually do something. I'm actually going to make a comic book." Okay, so let's take Eric July at 2-3 years ago, whenever that was, when he said that. I was like, "Fuck yeah, cool. That's the way we got to do this. We can't just complain about it." I mean, there is a point at which, or there is a, how would I put it? I feel like every human person has skills and abilities that are of value to make the world a better place. And I think that FNT and G&G for 2 to 3 years, maybe since 2019, since the beginning of COVID till about 2021, 2022, they were a very, very valuable thing because they called out things that were actually bullshit. And it wasn't a grift because it was just honest. And they actually did like comic books and video games. But it's like that line from Batman, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that's kind of what happened. They got addicted to the views. They got addicted to the grift. They got addicted to the, MCU, this, that, and the other. And it just became, really for me, when it was Rings of Power, it became nauseous just to hear, oh, fuck, another Rings of Power video. I didn't give a fuck about Rings of Power. I love Lord of the Rings. I love The Hobbit. I've read both. I've read the Lord of the Rings series 2 times and The Hobbit 5 times. I love them. I love the movies. Well, maybe not the Hobbit movies, but I love the Lord of the Rings movies. And Lord of the Rings is the seminal fantasy novel or novels of all time. And so when Rings of Power came out, I saw, their first 4 videos about it. And I was like, cool, not interested. Thanks for letting me know. But then it was dozens more videos about the same thing. It's like, you guys have accomplished your task. I'm not watching it. Why are you watching it?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I agree that was the turning point. Because they got to a point where
interesting.
Even you noticed how there was a shift like in the last 2 years where even the left started to not like woke media. Like it got to the point where like things like Rings of Power, which was so blatantly diversity focused, you know what I mean? And the term woke became like unappealing across the board to everybody. That was the turning point where there's no use in being like FNT anymore. essentially, their point was proven. There's no point in whining about it anymore. And that's when everyone said, you know what? Now that's the perfect time to start creating your own product, or at the very least, start funding and promoting alternative products. And that's what they should have done instead of trying to pretend like these guys, they're not creators. I mean, I'm not trying to be insulting, even though actually I would insult them all day, but they're not creative. It's not, some people have it, some people don't. Eric July, for example, at first everyone thought he had it. Clearly, he doesn't. But at the same time, at least he's learning his lesson. If you notice, he's funding other creators now. That's the move to do. That's what all these people like. Gary should be.
Can you explain that to me, Hart? Who is he funding?
Well, I mean,
I didn't know
for
anything about
example, Eric started out with just Iceland, and like he wanted, he created the character, he wrote it, and he wanted to be the jack of all trades. Like, oh, I can create a character, I can write it, I can do anything. And clearly, he sucks. He's not a good writer. He has no good ideas. But now he's paying other artists. He's paying Mike Barron to do Gooding. Terrible name, but at least Mike Barron's doing it. And he's paying Chuck Dixon.
Dude, all of his names are terrible. Sorry.
Yeah, it's horrendous. They need to move in the direction of going away from his ideas, and then Rippaverse will be better. Like, just hire some people to make all new characters, and then people will buy the product. But at least he's shifting away. Like, he's hiring other people to make these books.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I feel like it's kind of you don't want to. The danger with Gary and Nerdrotic and Eric and all these guys is that they're being criticized, and it's not that we want to criticize them to stop them, right? It's not like anyone's like, you know what, Friday Night Tights, that needs to just be canceled. We need to get them off the air, however possible. That's not it. It's we don't want to give up ground. I might have cut out. Maybe I don't know.
No, we hear you.
Cut out. Okay.
Patrick, he's on.
Yes, they got through to him. But you don't want to seed the ground.
Whoa.
Once you get to there, you want to hold on to it, and that's the whole point behind criticizing Eric July. That's the whole point behind criticizing Gary Nerdrotic and whoever, Vickyverse, the Wheelers, all these guys, is to say, be better. We're here with you, but let's quit kicking each other in the balls. Let's help each other out. Where you're slacking, where you're doing this. How many times do people mess with EVS? Hey, where's your books? They're late. Where's Rainbow? You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people doing that are against him, but then there's a lot of people that are just like, we want to be able to hold all this stuff up and be like, here, this is Rainbow. Well, I don't know who wants to hold up Rainbow the Brood. That's against the faith. But the Cyberfrog books is very good. The Cyberfrog.
Well, let me respond to that. That's a big point right there, because also EVS and Comicsgate, these are people who are actually doing it. You know what I mean? They're putting their money where the mouth is. They're making stuff, they're promoting it, and they're putting themselves out there. And you have that happening, and then you have people on our side just being haters and complaining about it. And that's what really gets under my skin when I see even people in this community, they love to hate on EVS, being like, oh, you're still late with this and that. It's like, dude, let's be honest. Most of us wouldn't be in this community if it weren't for Ethan. You know what I mean? He's done a lot. He's kind of the core of it. And then, Vicky, for example, and some people within the chat, they're just
Can I
jealous.
say something real quick? I just want to real quick. And I want you to continue with the point you were making, though. That's why when people are like, EVS is the leader of Comicsgate, but nobody made him the leader of Comicsgate. The reason that he's the leader of Comicsgate, and he is the leader of Comicsgate, the reason he is because he has done more than any other person for independent comics artists. He has done more than any other person. There's nobody else who has a stream like him where he brings people on and he promotes their book and they make fuck tons of money that they would never have made before. Never. And it's I mean, obviously John and Shane contribute a lot to that, and they're to a degree the triune god of Comicsgate, if you will. But like it really does come down to Ethan not taking shit from people and continuously. It's not just that he doesn't take shit from people and he sells his Cyberfrog books, which are already super quality. It's that he promotes other people like all the time. Like he's always promoting other people. And it's you like anyway, continue with your point.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like he's done the most in terms of output and volume and like just, community, unifying people. And it's true. Like, and he's good at it too. So like, that's why by default, he's going to be the person that everyone's gravitating towards. And actually, let me just end with this. Something very ironic is that Eric July, even though he never wants to mention Ethan's name, he doesn't want to say the term Comicsgate, right? But we all know that when he started Rippaverse, it was influenced by Comicsgate. He refused to acknowledge that. He refused to promote any other independent artist's work. And here's the sick irony, right? I think that if Ethan hadn't called those guys zeros from FNT, you know how he called them zeros, and that's what led to them not, talking to him anymore? I think if he never said that and never criticized the fact that they don't create anything, there's a chance that Eric July wouldn't have made Rippaverse. I truly believe that Eric July is somebody who, when he actually does listen to criticism, but he just doesn't say anything. I think he acknowledged that, oh shit.
He's not humble enough to,
Yeah, but he realized that it's true. He's running his mouth, he's making money on the internet, but he's not creating anything. Then finally he goes, oh, let me, I have the money, let me create a comic company. And I think Ethan did influence that. Ironically enough, Ethan actually is responsible for Eric July.
I mean, 100%. And Eric July, the whole, because until he got rid of because I think it was just recently he's decided they're not going to do the like open campaign style of pre-orders anymore. And that was directly inspired from Comicsgate and from Ethan and the way that he kind of advertises for people's campaigns and gets people going for, the numbers to rise. And I think that was that was what the excitement was when ISOM 1 first came out. Like, I'll admit it. I wouldn't say I was a stan because there's never a point at which I'll like completely back anybody, really. Like I don't like, I'm an individual human being, and I understand that other people are individual human beings, and everybody has flaws and everybody has strengths. And so sometimes, you got to take people for their flaws. But when ISOM 1 came out, I was over the moon, like $3.7 million. Fuck yeah. Like, that's amazing. It's so cool. The numbers were great. Everybody was so excited about it. Everybody was so excited the website wouldn't fucking work for like 6 hours. And it was really, it was cool. It was a fun thing to do because we all thought that, okay, now this is the turning point. We're going to make a difference, and we're going to make Marvel and DC pay for what they've done. And by pay, I mean not literally pay, but lose all of their money and go bankrupt for what they've done. And so that was, like you said earlier, we all thought that he was the next thing. And it turns out that he's not. But it's only because he won't admit or listen to criticism. Because like I can see that. I mean, you said that he'll respond to criticism in his actions. But if you're not gonna say to people that oh, hey, I heard this and this guy's right, and I'm gonna change this. Like, especially when it's egregious things like 3D assets. You know what I mean? That's the thing that was the end for me. when it was confirmed that Cliff Richards had used 3D assets and fucking stolen. That's how I view this. I'm very harsh about this. I'm very harsh about the purity of the art form. If you're fucking using 3D assets and just putting slapping a comic book coloring scheme on it, what you have done is you have stolen from the guy who paid you to draw the comic book. And Eric, instead of being like, oh, this guy stole from me, I'm firing him and hiring anybody. Anybody would have been better. He could have hired everybody in Comicsgate. That's another thing that was very interesting to me. He didn't hire anybody from Comicsgate. He just hired this other guy and then he rehired him again for the second issue after he'd confirmed stolen from him. And then Eric defends his artist. Bro, I paid you $35 for the comic book that you said was drawn, and your artist stole from you and lied to you. You should fire that guy and be like, I'm sorry, folks, the next one's going to be much better. Even if the story was still as shit as it is, even if it was, I would still support him for at least having the humility to say, I made a mistake. I'm changing this. We're doing something new now. But before anybody says anything else, let me bring Dr. Ben back in. Hello, Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben hasn't been here the whole show.
Oh,
Dr.
hey.
Ben, I was
How you guys
accosted
doing?
by this guy named Blackhawk Logistics. Oh,
Yeah, you missed out.
he was talking about rape and Islam.
Ooh, Islam and rape. That's what is that? That's like headline news. That's the stuff every day. Wow. How's
It's a
it?
good thing-
Yeah.
It's a good thing you weren't here to hear it, because maybe you would have gotten into an argument with him.
I would have been. That is kind of offensive. Like, why would he want to bring stuff like that up on Patrick's stream? And how did they even get on here too? Would be
It's weird.
hackers. Hackers.
I'm
We've had
telling you,
problems.
I'm telling you, the CIA and Mossad are after me. I mean, the extremist Muslims, they're after me.
Yeah, the bad ones, the bad guys.
They
Yeah,
hate me.
all of them are bad.
For-
All the Muslims
yeah.
are just.
They pirated the red link through Dubai's
Disavow.
channel.
Look, I would say on stream 100% that Islam is an inferior religion to Christianity, and so is Judaism, and so is every other religion that exists, because Christianity is the only correct one.
Maybe we should,
I don't
we
care if
shouldn't
you
go
agree with
there.
me or not. That's how I feel, okay? That's my opinion. I'm allowed to express my opinion. That's all. No, we're not. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that not all Muslims, there's no all people or this, that, or the other, except for all Marxists. Fuck all Marxists. But any other group of people, I'm down with, as long as you're respectful. Let's go through some of the comments here, though. I've been really
get to the
backwards on this. Mr. Self-Destruct. Mr. Self-Destruct has said a lot of nice things about me recently, and I'm kind of beginning to wonder if he's not another one of the CIA plants trying to come after me. I'm just kidding, Mr. Self-Destruct. But he made a good point here. He says, and a lot of people don't realize shit trash casts, that's hard to say, attract all the salvageable riptards. You're right, actually, because they'll watch it and they'll like start to realize, oh shit, wait a minute, Ethan's. And that was what happened with me when I first saw Ethan Van Sciver and his stream and stuff. I was like, this guy's a fucking narcissist. Like, I legitimately really I liked Ethan because he was Comicsgate, and I respected the freedom of speech and the respect of the customers, and fuck Marvel and DC. And then I was like, this guy's so self-centered, and I stopped watching him and I stopped listening to him, and more predominantly listened to Eric July and everything. And then one day I just saw something. I don't remember what it was. It was an argument over something, but he was 100% correct about it. And I was like, oh wait, he is a narcissist, but he's still honest, and he's even honest about being a narcissist. And I love that. So, at that point I was like, okay, so at least the dude tells the truth. And that's what these ripitards are going to find, is that when they go to his channel and they listen to what he says, and some of them will be so stuck in the idea of, we need Eric July to succeed, because it's almost like a part of their personality for him to succeed. But then some of them are going to hear what he has to say and be like, whoa, this is actually true. Omni says, excuse me, hold on.
It doesn't have to be necessarily like either or.
Go ahead, sorry,
as well. It's not like you have to You know, that's the SJW kind of thinking, you know, like, well, he's friends with Ethan, so he can't work at Marvel. He's friends with Eric, so he can't, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yep.
Though, I mean, like I said, definitely with Eric, it does seem like he needs to improve on things, but you know, he seems like someone that like legitimately could, you know, like it's just he does seem like he has like a really big ego, but who doesn't? And I mean, you have to a point, you know. But
to a point, I think as a YouTuber, maybe you really have to have a big ego. Like if you're a professional YouTuber, which Ethan's at this point a professional YouTuber. Let's you know, Ethan's got a big ego, but he's also stupendously talented, very truthful, and very like upfront and brutally honest. And I don't really. And there comes to a point where it's like, when you are worthy of your ego, I don't care so much. But
Yeah.
The condescending way that Eric July talks these days is just so like, dude, you haven't earned this yet. Like you maybe could, but like you not yet.
Well, it's very interesting that you know the comparison between these two people is very interesting because what you said earlier, Patrick, about Ethan when you first encounter him, when I first saw him on stream, I did not like him at all. My first impression of him was completely like, I don't like this guy. This guy's a jackass. That was my gut reaction. And then after seeing him actually talk with other, you know, like on the Jack show with other people, and they actually had conversations, and I actually heard what he had to say, then, you know, like, okay, my first impression, it disappeared because it was like, I actually agree with him. But also, you know what's very interesting? Humility. Having a sense of humor about yourself and having a little bit of humility. Ethan has that, where he can admit his own shortcomings. That's the biggest thing that Eric doesn't have. If you notice, Eric has never at all apologized, or he doesn't have to apologize. He could at the very least admit to some shortcomings and say, okay, we're going to improve upon this, you know? But it's 100% no, I'm great, everything is great. You can never criticize him. And that's a turnoff. And I think that's why people left him, you know, from the original backing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's you're saying the same thing Eric or Ethan's been saying too, is that, you know, like he can't accept criticism. That's what is like just the thorn in him right now, is that it's like he'd rather just like, I don't know, like ruin things than like admit like, okay, you know, someone that said this or that, or they made fun of the 3D assets, you know, we should, you know, like he can't accept that. It's like he changed like all his responses to these things. No, that's not true. We don't have 3D assets. Well, you know, maybe, I don't know. Hey, listen, we do, and they're cool. Is the thing, you know, like he's like, it's the stupidest thing. Like I've never seen, you know, like if you're a creative and you get a critique or a criticism, even if you don't like the person, you know, like you've gotta at least be able to like see what they're saying, understand. Okay, you know, this person doesn't like. They want an action comic, or they want a romance comic, or a horror comic, or whatever it is, kids comic. And they're telling me, you know, kids comics, you can't have blood and guts and dicks and tits and stuff. That's not what you have in kids comics. And you're like, yes, it is. You know, you know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to just, oh, okay, maybe I do need to change this. Maybe
it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that, because I got a particular gripe with Ethan Van Sciver. This is my biggest gripe with Ethan Van Sciver right now. He does say that Cyberfrog is for kids, and I'm like, dude, come on. I saw a Vispis sticking its proboscis down a woman's mouth and then turning her into fucking blood honey. Like, come on, this is not for children. I wouldn't show my kids this.
What?
Like,
yeah, like
it's
not the
really
toddlers,
violent,
maybe.
and I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
I would say, was it 12 and up, maybe? Age 12 and up, probably.
Yeah, that sounds. Because like
I'm a harsh. I would, if I had children, I'd be a harsh parent. My children wouldn't read that book until 14. I wouldn't want them seeing that.
were you guys? How
But then
old
again,
were you
I read
guys?
Ultimates when I was 13, and that's kind of violent.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, how old were you guys when you first read like the first like Spawn issues? Where like, if you read them, like, you know what I mean? Like when those came out, I was like 12 or so, and like I know my parents were definitely. They're like, oh, they're ripping hearts out of people. This is disgusting. And it was like, that's what we want to look at. Like these.
Dude, I saw RoboCop. I saw RoboCop at like age 5, I think.
Exactly.
That was like my favorite movie.
Wow.
As a kid, dude, that was like my favorite movie.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like maybe not every kid, if you've got like a queasy child that is easily disturbed, you know, maybe don't give them the Cyber Frog, give them Dogman or whatever, you know. But if you're a kid and you want to see cool comics, you want to see
Horseman, you mean?
Give them the Horseman. But yeah, I mean, it's not like
the first violent. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it's not like, I don't think it's like over the top. I mean, it's like cartoon violence where it's stuff like that, but it's not pornographic. Where it's not, it's not like gore in the Cyber Frog. I don't.
You mean like Saska Sisters level of gore porn? That is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, or like, did you look at any of the issues of Red Room from the Piss Score fellow that passed away? Like his Red Room is like a splatterpunk.
No,
comic.
actually,
it is really good. Like it's all like it's done kind of like old, to look like old like EC comics, like, you know, Tales from the Crypt and Vault and Creepy and all that. It's kind of supposed to look like that. Like it's black and white and it's all murder for fun and profit on the dark web. You know, it's horrible. Like just disturbing images of like torture and all, you know, just horrible things. You know, there's all these like wacky like killers and stuff that all have like costumes and personas they watch, and they all stream their killings or whatever, murders in the you know what I'm saying? It's so crazy. It's like a
interesting, yeah.
And that definitely is not like for kids, you know. Like I would definitely, if I had like the 10-year-old was like looking at that, I'd be like, oh no, we can't. Sorry there, Sonny. This isn't, not yet. But it's not at that sort of level, or you know, anything you wouldn't see in like a good X-Men comic. Wolverine punching people with knives. I mean, you know, like.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bloody, but it's not over the top. It's not extreme gore.
Exactly. Yeah. But, you know.
Let me read this. Omnis here says, the fellatio ship has thin skin. Proved they had thin skin when they got offended by the Zeros comment. The fellatio ship. That's probably the best one that I've heard in a long time. I thought you misspelled it at first until I read it out loud, and then I was like, oh, no, wait. No, that's amazing. The fellatio ship. That's amazing. Mr. Self-Destruct says, I watched one. I think what he says is I watched one Soundgarden music video, because everybody likes watching Soundgarden music videos because Soundgarden is the greatest band of all time. Next, he says, I thought about it as a resell. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he bought one, I think he says, for Isom. We're not talking about Soundgarden. Yeah. You would never resell anything that Soundgarden sold you. Yeah. And then we have like 100% 3D assets available to the public. That's the worst part. You could have bought 3D assets. You could have made it look like you tried. But no, that's the most offensive thing to me. The guy didn't even fucking try. Like, it's one thing to like cheat and steal from somebody. If you did it like at least I'd respect you a little bit more if you like put some effort into it. He only wanted some covers. I thought the old 60s style covers were pretty cool. Imagine paying an artist for a cover, then charging $100 for each exclusive cover of it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the Shane Davis cover. I'm hoping that Shane Davis cover goes up in value. I bought that like a dumbass And yeah, I think it's worth less than $100 now. And I'm like, oh god.
That's one of the saddest parts about all this is that all the merch we bought from it is like useless. I accidentally bought the cards a second time thinking that it was a different set of cards like it is for the Yaira campaign. And it's
The
not.
document.
So now I have two sets
Document.
of cards that I spent $100 on. Yeah, dude. And so I'm like, oh shit, I got to get rid of these before they lose value even more. Because this, look, like this isn't going anywhere. Like he's not like, you can call it what you want. Like I said on the last stream I was on, which was it Comics Get Commandos? I said this. 85% of the time, I'm 95% precise, and that's my narcissism coming out. Okay. But I'm calling it right now. I'm prophetically calling it right now. Rippaverse is not going to last another 3 years. And so all of that shit is going to become of no value unless Eric gets on the fucking camera and says, hey, everybody, what it is that I am sorry for everything that I have been not humble about, and I'm going to correct this, that, and the other. All these things people have had issues with me. I want to apologize to Ethan Van Sciver for sending him a night letter and for doing this whole fucking war. And I also want to apologize for not saying his name every time I talk shit on him on my streams.
That was the weird part. Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, let's get back. I'm going to get mad here in a second. I get so like when people don't use people's names, but they're talking about them, that pisses me the fuck off. Like, be a man and call the guy out that you're calling out. If you're not going to say his name, shut the fuck up. Mr. Self-Destruct says, I must grab another brew. You and me both.
Oh, yeah. I'm working on it.
Patrick, we can't
says,
hear you.
Yell. I don't know what.
Now we can.
Oh, okay.
They might be here from that
I
other
gotta
fellow.
find a way to fix this. Probably got to. They're getting me
Coming for you.
The Free Palestine guys are coming after me. That's not the people I expected to come after me, but hey, here we are. Mr. Self-Destruct says no crack smoking. Mr. Self-Destruct, I've done a lot of drugs in my life. Crack is not one of them. Never done it. Never been interested. 33. He was going somewhere for like 5 weeks. Yeah. I need to be reading these a little bit more in a timely manner. His rip ascend makes no sense. There are other established fulfillment businesses like Critical Blast that won't fuck you over. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense from a perspective of like, he's lost a bunch of money and now he needs to make it back. So he's going to offer rip ascend to people. But yeah, from the other, it doesn't make any sense from that there's Critical Blast that won't fuck you over.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the distribution stuff, so that's all like, Greek or whatever.
Here's my question.
Yeah, me neither. I'm about to find out in August.
Yeah, Horseman. Who the fuck came up with the name Horseman? Was that Chuck Dixon? Did Chuck Dixon actually think that Horseman would be a good idea?
Well, and
I think it was Eric. If you look back at all the names that have come out for all of his characters, they're all atrocious. Like none of them are like old superhero names that would make sense with what the character does. They don't explain who the character is. They're all like these awkward personal pronouns that like, cool, I guess I'm supposed to care about this character with this personal pronoun, except there's no reason for me to, because there's nothing written in the story that would make me be like, oh yeah, I like this. What is one of them was like Shadran. That's cool, I guess. It would have been cooler if they called him Tentacle Face. I would have thought that was cooler.
The funny thing is, all those weird, unique names, even those are better than Horseman at the end of the day. Like, it's like at every turn, you have the opportunity to like go in a better direction, but he keeps just getting worse. Worse and worse.
Yeah. Oi, fuck off. I'll defend the Satanic Horseman Rippaverse characters, says Mr. Self-Destruct.
Is the Horseman supposed to be a satanic character?
No.
Okay.
Well, you see, when you hire two Satanists to edit your entire universe of comic books, it generally ends, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Satanists, they do like to do things under the table. They like to like lie. I know it's
Father of
shocking,
lies.
shocking
Father
for
of
people
lies
at
is
home to
Satan.
hear. But from time to time, people who follow Lucifer / Satan / Azazel / I'm going to say Enki there for those who are in the know. They would lie. Why would they lie? Imagine a side character to Horseman, Goat Boy.
What's-
Yes.
The SNL character. What's his
yeah.
name? Jim Brewer.
Exactly. You better watch out, villain. I'll shoot my milk at you. I'm Goat Boy.
Yeah.
But
See,
Patrick, you had your
He
prediction.
shoots it out of his nips.
You had your prediction about Rippaverse. Here's my prediction. Here's what I'm going to put my money on. I cannot wait for Shungite #1. Shungite #1
Yes.
change the game.
Dude, I will legit buy that book. I will buy it if only just to fucking rip it to shreds. But I would buy Larry Shungite. That'd be amazing. Can you imagine how shitty everything would look in that book? Just some bald dude in an A shirt and a tank top, just being like, Shungite.
Wait.
Oh my God. Omni says, a lot of people said they should have called him Anubis based on the look of the character. Also, look at Ghost Machine's Rook. That's your horseman. Yeah, I did see that. And Anubis would be a much better name.
I thought Anubis was a dog, though. Am I wrong? Like, because it's Anubis is an
Anubis
Egyptian
is
god.
one of the Egyptian gods who had the head of a dog. Yeah. Essentially, he's either a Nephilim or one of the Watchers who came down from the heavens and had sex with human women. But that's another conversation for a different time.
I think it's a hybrid, though. It's like part dog, part something else.
Yeah,
You're right. So actually, he might have been one of the genetic mutations that the Anunnaki engaged in. The Anunnaki being another term for the Watchers who came down from heaven and had sex with human women. Anyway, I'm gonna play this song here real quick. I gotta go get more beers and take a piss. I'm gonna play this song. I'm gonna shamelessly self-promote, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I sing songs. I used to be in a band, no longer because of COVID. They kicked me out because I wouldn't get the vaccine. That's not entirely true, but it's mostly true.
Oh,
and
really?
Here's a song that I did not write by. I'll explain later when I come back. But this is "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra. This is my cover of it. So I'll be right back in about 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And by about, I mean exactly.
Right. Yeah, I'll go off.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. Many times I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart wouldn't buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. That's life. And I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but my heart wouldn't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come this year, July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die. Yeah. Thanks, folks.
Very nice.
Actually, I chose that song on purpose because he says, thank you. One of the lines is he says, you're riding high in April and shot down in May. Well, we're in April, and I just released my first comic book, and I got to tell you guys, I'm riding high. Like, it's awesome. It's so cool to for all the support I've received so far, and just to make something and spend 4 years doing it, and then it's now a real thing, and it's just so great. And so I expect in May to be just straight up fucked by life. So we'll find out how that works.
Oh, I gotta put this thing.
Oh, Dr. Ben's back.
There it is.
He was removed and now he's here.
So what do you guys think about
Who is Apple Pits?
what do you guys think about the new Joker trailer? Joker sequel coming out.
I'm
Go ahead,
down
Dr.
for
Ben.
it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm always down for the Joker and like Harley Quinn. I don't know how I feel about like Lady Gaga being Harley Quinn, but I mean, I think she's gonna look like the sort of Harley Quinn that we have running around in real life. Like Peter shot our shit down in April. Oh.
Well, that song reminded me of the first Joker movie. That's why
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. To be honest, the trailer was nice. You know, the music, I think, looks pretty strong in terms of making it more entertaining. Like, I actually like Lady Gaga. Strangely enough, because I'm not into that type of music. I'm into rock music. But something about her is, you know, she's talented. She's a good singer.
Yeah.
I feel like actually, she's good at what she does. Basically, how I could put it. You know.
Yeah. When I initially saw
She is
the
good at what she
Joker,
does. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say when I initially had seen the stuff for the first one, I was like, this doesn't look good. And then when I finally got around to like watching it, I was like, oh, this is like really. So that's kind of what I expect with this one. Is like it'll probably be pretty decent. But who's your favorite? Your all's favorite Joker is the real question, though. I mean, that can be the chat too.
Jack Nicholson for me.
Yeah, chat. What's your? I'd probably say Jack Nicholson too. Chat, what do you guys think? Let's take a quick peek at the trailer then, shall we?
Let's go, boys. It's showtime. Let's do it. Wakey, wakey.
Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
Real quick, a bit of a difference. Originally, Harley Quinn was his psychologist, if I'm not mistaken, so she seems to be an inmate as well. But
we use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have. Let's get out of here.
That's a beautiful shot. I like that.
yeah. Yeah, it is.
What the need?
And that shot is kind of reminiscent of that old Alex Ross painting. Have you guys seen that one
Oh
before?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Where the Joker's
Definitely.
with Harley Quinn. That's what that reminded me of.
Is a love sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world is love. Sweet love.
Tell us, what's changed? Are there?
I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
This is also
I
a
wanna
really
see the
great
real
shot.
you.
Huh.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it looks
Yeah.
fun.
Well, it looks very visually driven and
Yeah.
soundtrack driven, obviously. Which for me, like I kind of I get a kick out of because I love like good scores, like the swells and the orchestral music. Like it hits me a little bit in the chest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they haven't even shown I don't think they've shown like any of the coolest parts of the movie. I honestly like watched that and was like, they're hinting at things. They hint at what's going on, but they don't really get into it. And so an important thing that I just realized after watching that trailer is, maybe I'm wrong about this. Who knows? I'm just guessing. But she says, "Show me the real you," and that's when he smiles. And throughout the trailer, there's times where he's not smiling when he's around people. So I guess what I hope, at least, is that he's full blown Joker right now. And so him not smiling is him like trying to trick people, trying to convince people that that's not who he is. So that's really cool. Another thing I would say is that anytime in any movie that somebody smokes cigarettes, I like that. I don't know what it is about cigarettes, but cigarettes give it makes it like real. You know what I mean?
It looks so good
I don't know how to
on
describe
film.
it. It just makes it feel like
It just really does. Like, my favorite part of the staircase scene when he's going down the stairs, it's not the dancing. It's when he's smoking and he whips his head back and he's smoking the cigarette. I'm like, I felt that, because I used to smoke cigarettes also. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I still have have like dreams about
I currently
smoking.
do, and
Imagine you're
you
beyond
guys are better than me. You guys quit.
Meds.
I love smoking cigarettes. So maybe I'm a little biased when I see people smoking on screen, but like it I don't know. You're right. It makes it brings you in. It's like, I don't know. It's also the same thing as like when somebody eats on screen. Maybe not quite. I don't like it quite as much as cigarette smoking, but anyway. So Mr. Selfstruck says, imagine you're beyond toasted on meds. I guess that's true. Maybe he's just like destroyed on meds. Everything around you plastic. Yeah. The deeper meaning behind everything around you is plastic is that so is Harley Quinn. Oh, so are you implying? He says there won't be a Joker 3. Patrick needs 6 weeks in a mental ward. Listen, fella, I spent 5 days in a mental ward. That's enough for me, okay? That's enough for me. I'm never fucking going back.
No thanks.
Never.
No thanks.
They wanted to drug me the fuck up. So like when I was 18, I had everything hit me at the same time. This is not like so when I'm about to say some things that I don't want you guys to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't fucking care. Like I'm talking about it because it means nothing to me anymore. I'm a different human being. But when I was 18, I used to cut myself. I used to I was depressed as fuck. There was one point at which my grandfather had died. I was in Hell Week of the fraternity that I was joining. If any of you have ever joined a fraternity, you know what Hell Week is like as a pledge. And so I was just like, I'm done. And I just wanted to check out. So they put me into this psych ward for 5 days after I tried to kill myself. And I'll never go back there ever again, because I realized I realized I need to live for reason. There are particular reasons that exist that make me not want to live, but need to live. And then another thing is that the people in the psych wards are way more messed up than I was. And they would do is drug you. They would just drug you up all day long. And it made me, I don't like that. I don't do that. And even when I got out of there, I was on antidepressants for a bit, but then I was like, fuck this. I don't want to be on drugs my whole life. To make myself feel good. I just need to find a way to actually feel like my life is of value. And so I did that. And so drugs are taking antidepressants to solve your depression will not solve your depression. This comes from some guy on the internet, but that's the goddamn truth. Mr. Self-Destruct says you used to smoke, but you didn't used to be an antipsychotics at the time. No, I've always smoked, and I've never been on antipsychotics, but I guess is that another term for antidepressants?
Antidepressants are antipsychotics, I think. But I know what you're talking about, because actually I also spent about 4 or 5 days in the psych ward.
Nice.
And for a different reason. But I know exactly what you're saying when you say that when you see all the other people there, it is a bit of a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like I was in a comic book. The fucking people in this ward, dude, each of them was like a supervillain. Cheers. It was like there was different characters in the freaking asylum. You know what I mean? I'm not even exaggerating. And it was dangerous too. There were moments where I had to watch my back and be like, I gotta stay away from these people. Because man.
They're crazy. They will bite.
The guy they had me room with, literally told them he was suicidal because he wanted to be put in the psych ward instead of jail, because he was a hardcore drug dealer and killed a dude. So the cops came to get him, and he was like, I'm suicidal. And then by law, they had to take him to this psych ward. He's telling me this. We're sitting in bed. It's 9 p.m. We're about to go to bed. He's like, I killed a guy. And then I told him that. And I was like, oh, well, good night. Fuck.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
I didn't really care at that point if he killed me or not, but still, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, it got real, dude. And I was also
said, lucky lad, plenty of us had it worse. I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Self-Destruct. Sorry, Carbon Heart. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. But anyway, long story short, I was drugged up also because they dose everybody up to try to keep them docile. And
yes,
it's just crazy, bro. There are people who don't understand that life could be 100% different than what you're used to. You know, if you go into these situations.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be out of it and free of all those things for sure. My only vice is drinking now. So.
Oh yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, once you really see
resolved a lot of vices, but still have I like smoking and I like drinking, and so. But go ahead, Dr. Ben. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, once you see someone who's literally crazy, not they're just out of it, they're just in a different world, you're just oh shit, you can't. It's almost impossible to interact with them. You say just hi, hello, hey, what's up, and that could be the thing. They're and they just start ranting or they start itching or running around. It's oh, there are people with really
literally
problem.
Yeah,
I feel you. That's suffer.
So, Mr. Self-Destruct, I had this sneaking suspicion that the three people watching this show are you, Carbon Heart, and Dr. Ben. And because I actually turned it off on my screen in the back there because my internet's so bad that it would fuck up the stream. So, Mr. Self-Destruct, as the person who's been on this stream the whole time, after all this conversation we've had here, do you feel better about yourself? I'll wait for your response. Because if not, I'm gonna have to pay you back all the money you gave me for entry. So I don't want to do that. I want to keep
There
that
was
money.
also
But
Omni-Man was also in the chat earlier.
Omni-Man was here. That's true. That's true.
Omni was. He's gone now. I would have asked him too. Omni, if you're still somehow listening,
Maybe
let us
that
know, please.
that could be like you could have like a rotating the little blind thing at the bottom. You know, you could have it like an open question, like, "Do you feel better yet? Do you feel better?"
He says maybe.
Yeah, you know, it's funny.
Okay, Mr. Self, I'm gonna hit you with another fact about Patrick Quinlan. Maybe you'll feel better about yourself after this one. Okay, I have not dated a girl in 5 years. I've been alone in my room in my apartment for 5 years. Does that make you feel better about yourself? 2/7, he says. What the fuck? Omni-Man, he says, yeah, I'm here. Is that a yeah, like, yeah, you feel better about yourself and you're here? Or you're just saying, yeah, you're here? Do you feel better about yourself, Omni? And 2/7, that's not a maybe, that's a no. That's less than half. That's less than half.
Starting to fill up. Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. Half would be 3.5 out of 7, but he's at 2. That's even less. That's a hard no. He doesn't feel better about himself. He feels worse.
I guarantee everybody feels better about themselves because they're not in a psych ward right now, and they're not dosed up on Risperdal and Seroquel, and sandwiched between two people who might rip their eyeballs out if you look at them the wrong way.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild. It's wild. But you guys are right, though. It does give you, when you meet a real crazy person, and I'm not trying to be mean towards crazy people because I also don't want them to kill me.
Yeah.
But like, it is when you meet somebody like that, you feel like, oh shit, my problems are nothing compared to this person.
Yeah, it really is true.
No, that feels normal to me, Pat. It hits harder when you compare it to others. Yeah, that's true.
So 2/7 is here is what he's saying. Am I right? Like 2/7 is like his full, like running for it. Whereas normally when he's feeling bad, it's at like 0/7. It's just like empty. So like up to 2/7, that's enough to get up and get going and do your shit. If it's like a super day, then it would go up to like a 4 or 5. You see what I'm saying? Like he's saying like 2/7 is normal.
You're annoying my slightly artistic brain with what you're saying. 3.5 out of 7 would be normal. Anyway, I've been single for the same amount of time, lol. Dating is a nightmare. I keep finding OnlyFans girls. Dude, Omni, exactly, dude. All you find is vapid OnlyFans girls, and I'm going to say this, and I really don't mean this to be harsh, but it's sad, and I feel bad for these people. Really, really unattractive, like Christian girls. I feel horrible for them. I just do. But yeah, that's what the dating scene right now is a fucking nightmare.
Well,
it's a
the
fucking
pandemic,
nightmare. And
a lot of guys. I'm sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I think the pandemic.
Keep going.
Changed the situation for a lot of guys because the pandemic was a time where if you weren't in a serious relationship, it pretty much guaranteed that you were gonna be single for the pandemic, which is what happened to me because I was dating people right before the pandemic, but nothing serious. Like there were multiple girls I was seeing and talking to, but then with the pandemic, it all came to a halt, and then so clearly throughout the course of the whole thing, I just didn't date. And then, so I think that happened to a lot of guys. But I mean, I hear what you're saying about the dating scene being rough, and it is. But I don't think that's. You can't be discouraged. You got to get back out there because you can always find a reason why something is not going to work out, and then you'll stop yourself. But nothing's going to happen unless you take action. I say this to everybody: just fucking get out there.
Can I ask you a question, Carbon Heart?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. If you feel uncomfortable. How old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
I'm 30. Just so you know.
30 flat.
Okay.
You're exactly 30.
So we're in pretty much the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm 30 flat. Yeah. I got a ton of gray hair, but that's because of all the cigarette smoking, I think. Mr. Selfshock says, I'm just like 3 years older than you anyhow. Wow, you're letting the dating period. Oi, just help them along with some lip enhancers. What's a lip enhancer? Wait a minute. Wait, let me think.
Like a Botox injection?
Some kind of drug that I'm...
You inject the stuff that makes you...
Collagen.
Oh, yeah.
Collagen. Omni says, to me, OnlyFans is just a new type of prostitution, and I'm not okay with that. I 100% agree. Well, it's like a prostitution porn. It's like a weird combination of the two, both of which are...
It's being a webcam. It's being a webcam girl. I mean, let's just face it. We've all known about internet webcam girls, and they just came up with another name for it to mask what it is. But you're a fucking...
Do you remember, like a year ago, OnlyFans tried to like rebrand as like, you have like your own video show on OnlyFans where you do home improvements, show people how to do. They did that for like a month, and then they're like, oh, never mind.
That didn't last. They're like, okay, we're just a whore. We're just a whore website.
Yeah. The amount of OnlyFans, like, have you guys ever seen those clips from the Whatever Show? I'm sure you have, but the amount of girls who like think that there's like nothing weird about being an OnlyFans girl, like it astounds me, honestly.
Are they all doing, or like the majority of them are all doing like porn, or are they just on there like in bikinis or something? Like, I've honestly never. I
don't know. I'm not on OnlyFans.
Well, they're all doing nudity at the very least.
Yeah, you're trying to get us there.
I mean, look, it wouldn't exist if they weren't getting nude, because all these girls, they have Instagram, they have social media, and they're already, showing off their bodies in bikinis. So the next step, it's like, why have a paywall unless you're going to literally be nude? So that's the whole point. And look, there's no getting around it. It's porn. You're a DIY porn star, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
yeah. And I'm here to say, like, I have not been watching porn for a significant period of time here. I'm not going to get into how long, but look, have I ever lied to you guys about anything? I smoke cigarettes. I've smoked weed. I've done acid, mushrooms, all this shit. You see me drinking on stream. I don't lie to people. I'm too fucking lazy to lie to people. But getting rid of porn and like not watching it is one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me in my entire life. I feel like a different person. And a lot of times I feel like in situations where I would have not approached a girl, where I would have just been like, fuck it, I don't need to approach this girl. I do now. Because I don't do that anymore. Wait. So be right-wing cyber whores, Carbon Heart says.
Those are the ones I look for.
Accusations levied at Carbon Heart.
What? When did I say something that promotes?
Yeah. He's going hard at you, Mr. Self-Destruct. Sounds like he's Mr. Carbon Heart Destruct at this point.
Stirring up trouble.
No, I never promoted it. I never said to do it. I think it's.
I know. He's just.
Men should not be paying for it. Yeah, actually, I'll be direct. No man should be paying for it. It's a waste of time and money. And like you just said, Patrick, once you stop watching porn, you actually get motivated to actually talk to women, because it's like, that's what we're supposed to do. You know, it's like become a human being, talk to a woman, and get laid.
I'm gonna the thing that confuses me. I'm not like anti-porn or anything. Like I think there's I don't know. Like I'm not like all for But what confuses me is that like all these girls they're making all this money on there on the OnlyFans because you always see shit about them like, oh, Sally went on there, she made $80,000 in a month, and I'm like, what? And it's just some like kind of normal looking girl or whatever, and it's just like, why are guys paying money for this? Like, there's free porn like all over the internet. There's whole webcam sites of just all free porn. Like, why? Like, that's what I don't understand. Is like, why are you need something beyond free? Like it's porn. It's not like.
Can I explain why I think OnlyFans is successful?
Yeah.
I think it's successful because, okay, the sexual act is an act that is supposed to be between a man and a woman for, generally speaking, the purpose of procreation. And that's why it exists. Like, whether or not you want to admit that, sexual acts, sex exists because procreation is necessary for the continuation of the species. And so an evolutionary, actually, I'm going to back up on that evolutionary thing, but I'm going to say sex exists because like we can get into that conversation later.
In 1410, the land of Irkutsk.
Sex exists because of procreation. And so I think what's happening here is that for people, they see, a random porn star is a non-entity. They're a non-person to you because they're a porn star. That's it. Like, they don't really exist as a real human in your brain. So you can jack off to them, yada, 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 and you don't feel guilty about it, right? Or whatever. Now, an OnlyFans girl, she posts on social media. She's a real person that you can see talking and doing things on social media. And so I think that's where the sexual motive comes from. That's why people want to follow them, is because they know that they're a real person and now they're showing themselves naked. And you think, generally, I would assume this is how most OnlyFans people who pay for it think, is that they're somehow in like some sort of parasocial or tangential relationship to a degree with this real human person who's showing them their nudes. And I think that's why it's more attractive to people. And I think that's why people pay for it.
The parasocial element is what draws people, because like you just said, there's free porn out there. There's no need to pay for this, but these porn stars become like objects, and you're not viewing them as a girl that you would meet and talk to, and also you're seeing them for the first time that you see them. You're seeing them naked. What is this?
Oh my God.
Mr. Self-Destruct. Okay,
keeping
look,
us on point.
I gotta
Keeping
pull up
us
my
on
campaign
point.
here. I'm sorry. He is really keeping us on point. Thank you, Mr. Self-Destruct. Ladies and gentlemen, Phenomenon Comic Magazine. Let's refresh it here. We are at $804, ladies and gentlemen. We broke $800 within 7 days. That means that's an average of, I don't know what 100 divided by 7 is, so I'm not going to say, but a little over $100 a day, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. Which means, if you then do the math on that, that's a little over 4 backers a day. Fantastic. Phenomenon, this is the comic magazine that I have written over the past 4 years. This is issue 1 of approximately 16 issues that I already have written, ready to go. This story is complete. This issue you receive will not be a complete story, but the story itself is complete. It is nuanced. It has ridiculous amounts of callbacks and foreshadowing. In this issue alone, in issue 1, there is an unbelievable amount of things, of references that I make to the rest of the book. So, when hopefully the goal is we go back and 5 years from now, when the whole thing is released and we're able to make an omnibus, and then people can go back, read issue 1 and say, holy shit, he knew since issue 1 that this was the thing. and he wrote it in the dialogue and everything. So hopefully that's how people feel about this. If you've ever watched Attack on Titan and you've learned the secrets that Attack on Titan has, and then you go back and rewatch it and you start seeing that it's fucking dropping hints the entire time, this is what this book is like. That's what this book is like.
Right on. Were you
issue 1, ladies and gentlemen. Everything has already been written.
Were you around when Brian Michael Bendis was on Avengers and he did the Skrull Secret Invasion?
I didn't read it, but I do like a lot of what Brian Michael Bendis does. Let's talk about that in a second.
That's what he did, putting all the yeah.
Minotaur. Phenomenon comic. Written by Patrick Whitman. Art and lettering by Tomas Kavash. Follow on X or Twitter, according to Jeremy Griggs, for updates. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for backing. If you have already, I really appreciate it. If you haven't backed, what are you waiting for? I mean, look at this. Look at this stuff. We got the original cover A by Tomas Kavash, the interior artist. And then we've got cover B by Rob Hunter, Comicsgate King and legend in his own right. And we've got 2 shirts. I know the shirts are a bit pricey. You know, I'm doing my best. This is my first campaign. We'll figure things out as we go along. But I'm just trying to keep it real simple as we do the first campaign here. I'm gonna take these sunglasses off because they hurt my ears with the headphones. Mr. Self-Destruct says, Ben knows what I'm on about. That was probably in regards to something we were talking about earlier. Stop tempting, Ben, you slut, says Mr. Self-Destruct.
I'm not a slut, sir.
Oh, Ben, say it like Peter would. Can you remember that, Peter, how he said it?
That's what we should go.
Suck my stump to a blood lump. 16 issues. Suck my stump to a blood. Yes, 16 issues. And can I tell you something else? This is just the beginning of the story, and I've written even more.
Pull down my comment.
Pull down my comment. Oh, sorry. I don't know how. We lost Carbon Heart. He'll be back in a second. It happens. Sometimes people drop out. Do it, Ben, like animal phenomena.
Phenomenon. I think I'd need I'd be better. I think if I had like a keyboard or music. I'm like what is it? They're doing like a Is it like a xylophone? Is that what I'm thinking?
Oh,
phenomenon.
Welcome back, Carbon Heart.
I could do that.
Not yet. I haven't gotten paid. It's really rainy. I understand, Mr. Self-Destruct. That's why I made the campaign 90 days, so that anybody who ever wants to buy it over the course of 96 days could do it. 97 days. I also was born in 1962. Created this entire
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it.
We gotta get like you and fucking Vaughn together and like have a phenomenon.
Wait, who are you talking about?
We gotta get you and Vaughn Coleman.
Ooh, that's
have a
me.
phenomenon.
Or Mr. Self-Destruct. Wow. Ouch.
Oh, Phenomenova.
Jeez, they're really ripping into you, man.
They're coming. It's
Okay, look, I'm gonna say this
No.
once.
It's been
Okay,
a tough week. It's been a tough week.
I do have to address. I feel like I have to address this.
Oh,
There is no, like, I don't have any issue with Von Coleman. I've never met the guy. I've never spoken to the guy. Really, I've only had tangential Twitter conversations with him, and I don't consider a Twitter conversation. Oh my
he
god,
seems like a cool kid.
hardcore. Gay Vaughn, lovely gay time with Patrick and Vaughn. You know what? Just because I haven't had a date in 5 years doesn't mean I'm gay. Now you're just acting like all my coworkers. I'm not, okay? It's real. Dress or undress. It's real. Okay, look. So, okay. In the year 2015, I decided to write a comic book. I wrote the story that I had as an outline. And I realized the outline was based upon a lot of information that the audience, the reader, I look at, because I'm originally an artist and a musician, so when my terminology is based upon those things. So when I say audience, I mean reader. Chat demands, and I am chat. He says, "You are the chat."
I did my best.
And Omni too. Come on, Omni, you gotta fight against Mr. Self-Destruct for us. In 2015, I decided to write this book. I wrote something, and then I was like, nobody's going to understand what any of this fucking means, and more importantly than that, nobody's going to care what any of this means, because they don't know any of these characters, and they don't know the universe, and they don't know what's going on. So then I decided to write Phenomenon, and that's why Phenomenon exists, because this is essentially the prequel to the next story, which is not even like, I mean, I'm really focused on Phenomenon because I love it so much, and I love Russian culture, and I love the history of the Soviet Union. I don't love the Soviet Union, to be clear. I hate it. What are you doing, Mister? You just want me to get drunk and get naked, but I'm not gonna. Okay.
Well, if you show us
right?
your
I'm not gonna do
vaccination
it.
card, you're good.
Even for you.
Where are your papers?
Yeah, here it is, right here. This is my vaccination card. Fully vaccinated.
Oh, well.
Actually,
No.
Anyway. So addressing, again, this Von Coleman thing, because it must be addressed. I officially titled my book Phenomenon in 2019 when I sent a copy of the original overview that I had to my brother. This has been called Phenomenon since day one. And this guy, Von Coleman, comes out.
This kid.
3 months ago, and he's like,
comes out of nowhere.
He is a kid, because what is he, 22, 24? I'm 30. I can call people kids now, okay? He says, he's like, my original comic book name was Galvanite, but now I'm calling it Phenomenova. And I'm like, God damn it!
You know what's really funny?
He came out with the name before I did. Like,
you ever notice how when you have an idea, I feel like it's like parallel development. You can have an idea, and then if you don't pull the trigger on it, like within a
Can
year,
you turn yourself up, please? Can you turn your volume up?
the fuck? Am I lower than I was before?
Maybe a
Can
hair.
you hear me?
Feels like that.
I can't really turn
Yeah.
myself up.
I mean, I can hear you, but it'd be better if you were louder. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just yell.
By the way, is my mic any better than it was in the past?
No. I'll be honest with you, no.
My mic's not any better. What the fuck, dude?
What are you
No,
on a
but
phone
you're
or a
still,
laptop?
like we can still hear you.
Yeah, it's not like you're phenomenal. Like it's not
God
like
damn.
that.
All right, how about, is this any better at all? Or no. No.
Maybe.
God.
You gotta keep talking for me to know.
There's nothing I can do right now. There's nothing I can do.
What?
So, Mr. Self-Destruct, when you say that, like, one, I don't want to shit. My inclination is never to shit on any other creator because I am one, and I don't want to start a war when it's not necessary. You know what I mean? And also, this is my first comic book, so I don't really feel like I'm in a position to be shitting on other people's work or talking about other people's work. Maybe like 5 years from now, when everybody knows that I'm an amazing writer, then I can start shitting on people. But I don't really feel comfortable doing that right now. And I also, Vaughn Coleman has never done me any wrong whatsoever, so I don't have any issue with the guy. It's just that I'm annoyed that he's more on the social media game as a younger person would be than I am. And so he named his comic book Phenomenova before I even announced that I had a comic book in the works. I'd been working on this for a while, and like I said, 4 years. So it annoys me, but
you think he's on that
why I call my
TikTok?
book Phenomenon Comic Magazine.
That's what I would bet. I would bet that Vaughn's on TikTok.
Like I said, I've got no issue with Vaughn Coleman whatsoever. We've all heard the Dungeoneer Files, but from what I mean, maybe we have all heard the Dungeoneer Files, maybe we haven't. But I don't like when I heard what was said. I felt like Vaughn was a young man who was being manipulated by older people. That's what I felt.
A lot of that just seemed like very gay to get into all of the Dungeoneer. I was just like, I don't care what.
Well, the whole like Biggins calling him son shit. I was like, yeah, that's true too. Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I care because look, I do care because I back people who I back people who I like. Yeah. Even if I don't necessarily like your IP, I'll back you. I'll also back you if I really like your IP, even if I don't know anything about you. So, and a good example of that is Shadow Sentry. I don't know the author/artist of Shadow Sentry at all, but I really like his concept, his idea. So that's why I bought both of his books.
Which can you show them to us? The Shadow Sentry. Are they on the internet thing or?
Yeah, hold on one second.
So say you just bring them up on here. You can bring up anything on here.
That'd be better if I could. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I'm here for you, Shadow Sentry. I got the check cash is good.
I actually talked about him a different time, and I don't think he. Let's see.
Oh yeah, all I was saying is I think it'd be funny for you guys to both like be on the stream, you and Vaughn, and be like, Phenomenon. You're supposed to say it Phenomenon, and be like, it's Phenomenova, and just have like a back and forth, like you guys would kind of do the Muppet thing. Phenomenon. And then like Vaughn would be like,
I'm a little uncomfortable about that because
Phenomenova. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
no, you're still the same value.
I'm not any louder.
That is what I was thinking myself, and Mistress Destructive said it. You don't got to shoot on someone to be great. That takes your eyes off the goal. If your goal is just to make a good story,
that's a platitudinous. Look, okay, no. Ethan said it one time, and I completely 100% agree with this. Be great is fucking bullshit. Be better is not bullshit. Because you are the way you are right now. If you say to somebody, be great, how the fuck are you supposed to be great? You got...
Did I pause it somehow? What happened? I can't hear anyone else. Is it just me?
All right, we're back. Sorry.
Oh.
No, sorry, it's my internet. I have to find a way to like manually connect my computer, which is in a different room from where my router is, to my router, so this because I have terrible internet. Mr. Self-Destruct says Vaughn Coleman has a limp penis, which he tried to, through his clothing, rub against Irene. First of all,
seems like a disavow sort of situation.
It actually is grammatically correct, if I'm not mistaken. He has a limp penis, which he tried to, through his clothing, rub against Irene. Do we need the commas there, or is it that he tried to? So this is the only comment I would make about your comment is that you could put parentheses around through his clothing instead of the two commas. The two commas makes it look like a run-on sentence. But if you put two parentheses around through his clothing, then it's a straight sentence that, that implies what you're saying about fun. Which I am not saying. I've never said anything. I've never said anything about Irene or Vaughn.
Oh.
Except that I find it interesting what I found. So gay. He says, just whose side is you're on? What is my goal? My goal is to destroy, utterly destroy the Marxists inside of Marvel and DC. Oh, you mean like my funding goal? Sorry, I thought you meant like my goal in life. My funding goal, like if I'm gonna be real with people, it's the $500 was like a placeholder for that's what everybody puts on there. But if I made like 4,000 on this, then I would consider it. I would consider that the money I spent on it to be. You know what? It doesn't matter. The goal's met. If I'm going to be real with you guys, I don't fucking care anymore. I'm going to make comic books. I'm going to continue to make comic books. It's going to come out of my pocket if it has to, but it's going to happen. I really don't care anymore. I'm going to tell the story. The story has to be told. I'll tell you how to be great, but keep it a damn secret. They're under my spell. I will comma your ass. All right, real quick. Shadow Sentry, Second Chance Campaign, books 1 and 2. This is actually the one I backed, and he sent it to me within, I want to say within 10 days. I received this. So if you back it, you're gonna get it right away.
Right on.
So just so you know that. Let's watch the trailer for Shadow Sentry. Look at this art. Isn't it beautiful? That's really good.
Dude, I tell you, this name is exactly the guy on the screen. And once he fucking puts on that costume,
Wait, Mr. Self-Destruct, are you talking? Or, I'm sorry, Carbon Heart, are you talking?
No, that wasn't me.
It was probably me. Just I mumbled to myself constantly.
It
It's
was
just.
No, it sounded like somebody full on. Hold on. Okay, look back. Anyway. From issue 1. And then I think this is issue 2 here. Is that Rainy? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. That guy's really cool, by the way. Guys. Fuck yeah. So already, our good friend Eric, goddamn, Nineltowski, you Polish people, I'm part Polish, I can say this. You Polish people in your fucking names, you should have just made it Ninelt, okay? For all you Polish people out there, get rid of the Owski, get rid of the Ufcheskis, get rid of them, okay? I'm Polish too. My maiden name would be Dijik, okay? My grandpa had the self-respect to call himself Dean. You guys need to do the same thing.
Your maiden name. What?
I've been shitting on Polish people so much on my streams. My lesbian roommate did say your shit sounded gay. Okay, well, you know what? If your lesbian roommate wants to fucking... I challenge her to mutual combat. I live in Missouri, okay? Mutual combat is legal in this state. She can come on down here. We can go out on the street.
I wouldn't fight with the lesbians. I would... Don't anger the lesbians. I think that's like
my shit sounded gay.
That's like a statement of like
wait, is that a compliment?
approval. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. From their culture,
Oh,
that's like,
oh,
hey, you're gay.
you're lesbian.
Hey.
So it's like a positive thing.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
that's
I'm sorry. I want to take it back. I
different.
rescind my offer for mutual combat to Mr. Self-Destruct's lesbian roommate. I apologize. Didn't mean
It's
it.
more like a
I
challenge.
meant
It's
it
not
to
really
talk.
like an offer. It's a challenge. You have to rescind the challenge. You can't. I'm sorry.
She said something about you and a banana like an hour ago. Look, man, if she said something about me and a banana, she might not be a lesbian. Have you checked on her in the past few minutes? What's she doing? Is she in her room? Are the lights off with a banana? Anyway,
I need to get.
ladies and gentlemen, Shadow Sentry, you guys need to check this book out. If you can, I would buy issue 1 and 2. They're both beautiful issues. I think the writing in issue 2 is better than issue 1. I'll do a review of it maybe sometime. Like I said, I don't like to shit on people, so there's some times where I don't like to do reviews, but this is actually a really great book. I liked it a lot, and the art is beautiful. This guy's really got a very 90s style.
Yeah.
And this cover doesn't even really show his true skill. As it goes along, it keeps getting more and more beautiful as each panel goes along. So if you have something you're looking for that you just want to back something in Comicsgate and you want to essentially get a good book to read for a night or two, back Shadow Sentry. Mr. Stuffed, you're fucked, mate. You'll be stuffed. You can advertise the extra protein. Oh my god. All right. I think you know what we've been going for 2 hours and 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's about time to call it quits on this stream. As Johnny Scab would say, we're about to wind it down, even though when he says wind it down, he means stop the stream. Wind it down, you got 30 minutes to go. We're stopping the stream. So this is how autistic I am sometimes. I'm so little. I love Johnny. Anyway, Carbon Heart, thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it. Dr. Ben, thanks for coming on. You guys are damn legends.
Does Carbon Heart? I can't. You probably said this last time. Like, what do you do? Are you it seems like you're like a musician or something. Do you have a ceiling bird? Do you have a bird?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
By the way, can you hear me better now?
You're way too loud, Carbon Heart.
There it is.
I'm way too loud now.
I think that's okay because it's making up for all the.
Down to 75% of where you're at right now.
Okay.
It's just.
There you go.
All right, that should be better. That should be better now.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, I did it. Oh yeah, no, I'm a musician on the side. I used to play. I used to be kind of a full-time live musician about 10 years ago, but then life happened. Things got in the way, relationships, and but now I do it part-time on the side. I have my first band. We actually recorded 2 albums. One of them is on Spotify and everything. The band's called Young Animal. But let's not listen to it here.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Just throw your chat, throw your link in the comments or whatever on the video. That way, people can grab it later. Because that's the thing with all these live streams. I noticed people always watch them later, and you get the links all down in the So that's how I always put mine together, like the description and stuff. Not that I'm telling you what to do, or I don't even think I looked at what your thing said. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Thank you though. Thank you.
I couldn't remember because we were listening to somebody's music and I don't have a good, there's been some head injuries. My memory has got there's concerning problems.
I'm planning on getting back into it this summer.
He rips his fucking piece. Dude, Carbon Heart, for sure, you should. And
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You really should, dude. You got to get back in. Yeah, Mr. Self-Destruct is asking for a link to your Spotify. Can you put that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but
Everybody, put your links in the chat, please. All your YouTube links, your Twitter links, everything. Because Mr. Self-Destruct wants, and his lesbian roommate wants to. They want to see him.
Yeah,
I'm just excited. I'm super excited that you guys can hear me now better. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's much better, dude.
It was kind of like muted before. It sounded like you were like 6 feet away from the microphone before, and it's like now it sounds like you're like oh, okay, blah blah blah, talking into the. I'm gonna put my thing.
Or is it preventing you from putting your links in the chat? If you can't put it in the chat yourself, because maybe I haven't made you mods yet. Also, Mr. Self-Destruct, I'm gonna go on the YouTube channel and make you a mod. You have earned it. Omni, you're also becoming a mod if you'd like to. Let me know if you'd like to. Just say yes or no to me. Mr. Self-Destruct, you don't have a choice. You're gonna become a mod.
Yeah, I'm not able to post the link into the chat.
And okay,
so
can you post it in the private chat and then
okay.
Yeah, I gotta add you as a mod too. And then Dr. Ben, can you okay, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, post it in the private chat now.
Professional.
Here. And put it in the chat.
If I wasn't a professional doctor, would I have one of these things?
Do I need to make them mods while the show is live? That's a Dr. Ben, do you know if I need to make them mods while the show's live? Or can I do it later?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, I just commented in the chat so that you can. I think you need to do it live.
The Spotify link I shared was. Can I do it?
There it is.
I can put you in a timeout. You want me to put you in a timeout? I've got to actually go to YouTube. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand any of like.
YouTube, go to my channel.
But let me plug my Substack real quick. And I'll
yeah, please.
I'll tell you what my plan in the next month or so. I'm going to set up. I want to do kind of like a little campaign drive, right? Just to do I'm going to do I do all these kind of mini comics I self print, right? They're all on this nice kind of thick paper and whatnot. I'm going to do if you sign up in May and June or something or other, you know what I mean? If you do, I don't know, I'll have to figure out the logistics. I mean, if I can find someone to help me with the logistics, I can't even say these words, logistics of 1 month or 2, however exactly it is. But you sign up in this month and you'll get a copy of the mini comic sent to you and whatever, that's what I'm saying. I'll figure out some kind of scam for it, the 1963 fan comics I did. I've got a whole bunch of those. Well, I don't have a whole bunch of them, but I've got a couple left. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get rid of those. I think I have the free PDF, but the ones like this is my little rabbit guy, Stanley. It has some stuff with him, and it's got a weird Dream Comics. It's a Mobius picture I tried to redo. Oh yeah,
Wizard.
And if you guys know who, what is it? Seahawk. He's either in Brigade or Youngblood. It's one of the two. But you know what I'm saying? I just do a mini comic, and I put a whole bunch of different strips. Different story, different just little mini stories or whatever.
Yeah.
And print it up, send it out. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna put all the
shared, right? The Dr. Ben's Substack. Yeah.
Yeah, I put all my the thing with the Swamp Thing story from the other day on Fandom Pulse. I put a link to that. Any of the different stuff I've done. I don't want to pretend I'm a whatever, but I've written a whole bunch of weird little things and made a bunch of comics, and it has all the stuff is on there. It's all on the Substack. So that's the plan for right now. Perfect. I'm working to do more like little mini comics and stories. Like I want to do just put like a couple panels on like Twitter. Like Twitter is basically like the news, right? Like you want to figure out what's going on, you can go on Twitter, X or whatever you want to call it. I want to just put on like a couple of like little like single panel cartoons, like gag stuff or whatever, jokes and whatnot, and just have them on there so people can like. To me, that's the whole thing with comics and cartoons and stuff is just people seeing it. You know what I mean? That's the only way to me to like really get through is like for someone to actually like read it and see it. And if, like the more steps that for me that I put in there makes it more difficult. So if I can just put it like, hey, follow my Twitter or you're following on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, you know, TikTok, not on TikTok. I can't dance, but you know, I just want people to be like,
no, you're not on TikTok because you're not a fucking commie.
That too, you know.
So can I ask you guys something?
Anytime, always.
Yeah.
I mean, being that obviously you two are going to continue streaming, which is great, and thank you for having me on. I'm really happy to be, able to join and have a good time. I actually am also planning on putting together a comic project within the next year. I have the concept and the title together. I'm working on the designs still, and once that's done, I'm going to get the art rolling. So my timeline is about a year from now to have a campaign actually up. But anyway, so I'm planning on continuing to stream. So I want to continue, coming on and everything. How come you guys don't want to continue using Comicsgate Commandos as a stream show? Because I feel like you can, continue the momentum that was
I'm going to say
going
this real quick.
that.
Let's discuss this. We can end the stream and discuss this later. This is something that's I just feel like I don't want to discuss this right now on stream. I want to have a different conversation.
No problem.
More in private because I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to step on any toes, and I don't want to cause any issues where there doesn't need to be issues. Comicsgate Commandos, one way or another, I feel like will be a real thing, but there's some talks that need to occur first, and I just feel like we should table that for maybe a different.
I want to remain like
I'm not trying to be rude.
Outside contractor.
Dismiss you.
I think that.
No, that's totally understandable. That's cool. No worries.
But we will discuss this, and I'm not trying to be like holding secrets from the chat. I will always tell you exactly what occurred when it occurred, but like I just when things are being worked out, I don't like to talk about things until they're worked out. You know what I mean? It's just that with Johnny leaving
out there
and him bequeathing it.
That's a lot of like what Comicsgate is like with Ethan and all of them, like fucking the whole thing with Johnny being upset about Cecil and John and this and that. All of, you know what I'm saying? Everything's out there. So I mean, to me, that's what I look at with Comicsgate is that we're here to like entertain the people that are the fans, right? If they like our comics, maybe they just like Sheila's AI songs that she makes, right? You know what I mean? Like it's ultimately about the audience, like whatever it is. Not that we're here to just be like, okay, what do you guys want us to do now? But it's like there's an audience that enjoys I think in one of like Ethan's commercials, he says that we play kind of rough. And like that's one of the things, like I'm not trying to like throw anything at anyone, like shade or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of being like in comics that I've seen dealing with people, you get a lot of like this backroom stuff, right? And then you get, somebody made a joke, somebody took it the wrong way, then they this and that. There's all this different stuff like that. To me, I just like to put stuff out there and just be like, this is what it is. This is, I guess I don't do that anyways because I have all my weird secrets. Well, they're going to be coming out anyways. That's going to be my daily, like not daily, but my little comic thing I want to do on Twitter and X is going to be all my the murders. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. I feel like.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to be
too
secretive about anything. I just don't like
to
blast
what
other
he was
people's opinions on
against.
things. You know.
Yeah, I don't speak for anyone else, and like that was how I felt with Johnny. You know, like that's Comicsgate Commandos was his show. I felt he was like, you know, he specifically repeated several times, like he didn't want to be associated with Comicsgate as a part of comic. You know, and it's just like, I don't want to. I like the concept of the show, like the paramilitary comics, do it, you know, some kayfabe stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally like just being someone who feels like they're part of Comicsgate as a fan, as a creator, as a journalist. I felt kind of like you're saying you don't want to be associated with Comicsgate. I'm Comicsgate. You know what I'm saying? I love Johnny. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I felt with it. And I didn't want to like put him on the spot on his show either. And like I explained that to him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not like angry or mad, but like I wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, you don't want to associate with Comicsgate. Hell yeah, we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's how I felt. That sounds gay, you know.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I mean, I wasn't.
My...
I'm not one to really get into drama. It's not really my style anyway. But what I meant was that the name. I like the name. It had a good ring to it, and I feel like continuing the name would be beneficial because people already know it. That's what I'm saying. That's all I mean.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's, and I don't want to put words in your mouth either, Patrick. Like, I don't want to be like Patrick's, but like, I feel happy with like Patrick if he kind of like takes over the, I guess not.
The Patrick froze.
The Patrick freeze.
My fucking internet. Hey, literally said, I feel like, and then my internet went. So I'm sorry. What do you?
I feel like we're gonna have to bring up the court-martial charges against Patrick. Is what it is. He's gonna
wait a minute. Why me? What have I done?
He's
dishonorably discharged.
Okay, look. All right. Okay, look. You wanted it. You're gonna get it. This is all right. You asked for it. Okay. So look, it's like this. It's like this, okay? Johnny, I feel like, is new to Comicsgate. He found out about Comicsgate maybe a year ago, if I would wager a guess. And so he's not been in it long enough to know that from time to time it goes and then it goes shh. So he doesn't understand that yet, and he doesn't understand that Comicsgate is not a unified ideology. There's unified thought. There's unified principles of Comicsgate, like freedom of speech and respect of the customer. But we're not all conservative, and we're not all liberal, and we're not all yada yada yada. It's so and we're not all pussies, and we're not all men. So I think that's something new to Johnny too, is that he expected people in Comicsgate to all be men, and some of them are pussies and get offended about stupid fucking jokes. Cecil. I've never called somebody a pussy online before, but I mean, no, that's not true. I called Jesse Stone a pussy because he called me out but didn't say my name. If you say something about me and you don't say my name, I'm going to call you a pussy. That's it. But you can suck a dick if you want to. I can. Maybe I will.
Well, you know, actually,
maybe I will.
We didn't talk about that because I'm glad that it's resolved now. That whole thing is squashed. It looks like, you know, John and Cecil are going to be back in the Jack show. And so I'm glad about that because that was stupid. That whole
it was. And
fight.
Cecil was drunk. And Johnny, look, I understand why Johnny feels the way he does. I think what Johnny's in right now is the like I told you guys before, I loved Ethan Van Sciver when I first started watching him. Then I hated him. I was like, fuck all this. And then I came back to it. I think that's where Johnny is right now. And another thing is, and who was it that said it?
Maybe
somebody said the other night that you don't choose when you're not Comicsgate. Like you don't get to choose that. Like you are Comicsgate if you're associated with a particular group of people. And unfortunately for Johnny, whether or not he is associated with us now. I like Johnny. And and Johnny has said to me he likes me, and I trust Johnny. I've always taken Johnny at face value, no pun or joke intended. And so he is Comicsgate just by dint of the people he associates around or with. But he doesn't want to be I guess, using his efforts and channel to be doing that. And he's a free man. That's part of Comicsgate. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He will still be perceived as outsiders as Comicsgate. And I think it'll just take a little bit of time for him to realize that there are some people in Comicsgate who you don't like, and there are people who you do like. And that's actually one of the beautiful things about Comicsgate, that it's more of a representation of what the real world is supposed to be like, with freedom of speech and respect of other people's beliefs and values. But obviously it did mutual oral sex, he says. God damn it, Mr. Self-Destruct. You're not Mr. Self-Destruct. You're Mr. Everybody Else Destruct. We all did. We all hit it. But
mutuals. I just don't get
Mr. Self-Suck.
Well, look, I want to talk about this, and we will talk about this, but
let me finish.
Not
reading,
tonight. I would say. We'll Mr. Omni says, I just don't get why Cecil defended the fellatio ship. I love that. I love that. That's fucking amazing. When he's CG and CG had his back with his first book. I don't understand that either. So we're going to talk about that later.
I think we're at a good spot to cut it out too, but
yeah.
I
don't want to cut off any conversation. Idea yeah. Go ahead.
That Cecil may be an agent provocateur. Not necessarily having that position, but he knew, and then kind of like ran with it a little bit.
I don't think Cegel's I think what he is he's a degenerate. That's what I think.
He's into politics. He's into
politics. I think it's obvious that he's a degenerate.
I know, but when you're a degenerate, sometimes you'll say and do things that maybe you don't think or believe in order to gain money, or obviously he's not like somebody who cares about his eternal soul. He's somebody who cares about his material wealth, and each to each their own. But you have to understand that when people care about
I try not to make
more
too
than
many
that
decisions about what other people think.
I know, and that's fine. But I'm going to say what I think about him because I think I'm a pretty good judge of character. I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. And Mr. Self-Destruct says, "I'm all good for tonight. I'm all good for all night, sweetheart." He says, "I'm good for all night." What am I, stupid? I'm sorry. I've drunk 4 beers and I'm already like, blah, 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 blah. 2 words, cash grab. Well, you know what, Mr. Self-Destruct? That's how I felt when I saw it, and I've never felt differently. He's funny. He's ridiculously funny. There's no doubt about that. Cecil's very funny. But like I said before, there are people in Comicsgate who you come to realize are people who care about the art form, and there are people who do not care about the art form. And I'm here for the people who care about the art form or care about the destruction of Marxism and all the things that it has affected and destroyed. So as long as you're down for that, like, I'm going to be on your side. But other than that, like, I don't really, you could be in Comicsgate night. I don't like, you have to show me that you're somebody who cares about the things that I care about. And Fellatio just killed me, says Mr. Self-Destruct. I love that. It's so great.
Like a show me yours and I'll show you mine kind of situation. I'm down with that. Like, okay, well.
I'm just saying. So it's like this, Carbon Heart. Comicsgate Commandos will continue because I'm the fucking general now. That's what it comes down to.
That's what I'm saying. There has been a coup.
I'm the general now, and I'm deciding who my crack squad is going to be. It's going to happen at some point, but I'm assembling people, and I feel like I need at least 3 other people on the panel before I want to start the show again. But I've been asking people. I've been going around. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of, like, I don't want to put anybody on the spot who I respect and like, who I've been streaming with. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, no one's ever done me harm. The people I've streamed with have never done me harm, with one exception, but we're not going to get into that tonight. And so those people are, like, all good in my book, and I'm just trying to assemble the team. And you're obviously on the team. So, you know, it's going to happen. It just didn't happen this Saturday, but it's going to happen.
Cool. Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know if you heard me before because you froze and cut out.
I didn't hear you, so please repeat what you said.
Oh yeah, I mainly brought it up not to hash out drama, but because I like the name. It's a great title, and it'd be a good idea to keep naming streams with that because people already know it, obviously, and so I think it's good to keep the momentum going of having people know that name.
It is, and first of all, Johnny didn't fuck us. Johnny is a free man who can decide whatever the fuck he wants to do. He's a talented individual. He's a good guy. He's an honest
definitely
person.
Not being interrogated right now.
He's an honest person. Okay? Johnny's an honest guy. He's very upfront about what he thinks and what he believes, and then he sticks to it. So Johnny didn't fuck us. And also, even furthermore, Johnny could have said, you guys, I don't want you to use the Comicsgate Commandos thing. Like, it's over. It's dead. Johnny did not say that. In fact, he did the opposite. He contacted both Dr. Ben and I and said, I want you guys to continue Comicsgate Commandos. I think it'd be good for your channels. I think it's a better, not IP, but a better name. It's a good platform. That it's better platform than the platforms you've currently got, which some people might take as insulting, but I don't. He's right. He's correct. So Johnny didn't fuck them, but you fucked me, and it was lovely. More, please. Okay, look, maybe your roommates all down for the homosexuality, but
I think Mr. Self-Destruct is starting to feel whatever he's on.
I think when he was like, I'm gonna get him another brew, I think he got the whole bottle, baby.
He's the one with the lesbian roommates.
Comic mercs. I like that idea. I feel that's cool. But no, Comicsgate Commandos shall continue because there's work to be done, and we're at fucking war. Okay, I feel that way, and so I'm going to continue it, and I'm going to get my crack squad of Comicsgate Commandos. Johnny is a damn legend, and he told us that we should continue this. He's got his own thing going on. Who knows? Maybe the dude said, like, I don't want to do this anymore because, like, his mother is passing away and he's got to be with her. And that's what he wants to spend his time doing. You don't know. Sometimes men lie to other men so that they don't feel effeminate. Okay?
What?
So, it happens from time to time. So, like, Johnny, I like Johnny a lot. He's the only, like, I wouldn't even be streaming right now if it wasn't for Johnny. So, thank you, Johnny. So, we're getting the crack squad together. And Comicsgate Commandos is going to be back. And Omni and Mr. Self-Destruct, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. You guys are fucking legends. I made everybody a mod. Everybody posting right now is a mod, which is kind of funny. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Ben. And again, thank you, Carbon Heart, for coming on. We will be I don't know if you guys have any time Tuesday. We don't have to talk about it right now, but put it in your heads here. If you want to come on Tuesday, I'm going to have a show Tuesday. We'll do that. Here, well, we can just go ahead.
I was going to say, you said that like Sundays were like sometimes not so good for you anyways.
I just don't prefer Sundays because I got to work the next day.
That's fine. Well, that's what I was going to say. I was thinking I'll just do more like my own weird streams on Sundays anyways, where I do whatever.
Yeah.
My goofy stuff,
It's going to be like Tuesdays. I'm always off on Sundays, so I'll get every Saturday night I'm going to be streaming. Unless I have to hang out with a girl, which actually I'll tell you guys right now, May 11th. I'm going to have to cut the stream short, because I'm going to go hang out with a girl for the first time in 5 years. So just wish me luck. But anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to do the best I can. But anyway, thank you all. Thanks guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. This has been a fun show. I thought it was a lot of fun show. It was great talking to you guys. Good conversation all around. So peace out. See us on Tuesday night on this channel here, and Comicsgate Commandos will be back. You bet your ass.